Europe in response to retaliatory tariffs from the EU. In July, President Trump tweeted, "Now that Harley-Davidson is moving part of its operation out of the U.S., my administration is working with other motorcycle companies who want to move into the U.S." Harley-Davidson's 115th anniversary is in full swing. The Lakefront Moto Carnival is taking place at Veterans Park at the Lakefront every day through Sunday. Walker's Point Motorcycle Alley goes from noon to midnight on Friday and Saturday. And motorcycle races are going to be held on the sand at Bradford Beach this weekend. For Real Resistance Radio, I'm Keith Gosted.
The following program is a presentation of DC Communications, LLC. Warning, you are about to listen to the greatest radio show ever. And due to contractual obligations and to shield our airwaves' corporate licensees from any semblance of liability, responsibility, and gullibility, we must tell you the views represented on this show are not necessarily those of this station or its management. This radio show contains differing points of view on current political topics, and due to the nature of its contents, it should be heard by everyone. Thank you for listening.
3, 2, 1.
Now live from the heart of liberal Wisconsin, where the political party is just beginning, welcome to the Devil's Advocate Show. Best friends proving it's never personal, only politics.
Please allow me to introduce myself.
Now here are your hosts, Dom and Crute.
Welcome to the Devil's Advocates Radio Show. Dominic, thank God it's Friday.
Amen, brother, but you are missing the party on Brady Street in Milwaukee, Crudy. I'm going to have to just celebrate without you. You're going to miss out.
Well, thank God it's Harley Fest. Harley, 115th anniversary, the block party. It's starting in, what, an hour?
It's already starting, man. There's no denying. But yes, the road will be shut down to all traffic except motorcycles in an hour.
So you will not be the only hog on the road.
Well done, sir. No wonder why you stayed away. You figured there's enough hogs around.
Oh, well, a little too late. I already nailed you with that one.
Yeah, damn it.
Hey, Dom, a couple of other interesting notes today. I don't know if you know, but in the great state of Wisconsin, Tony Mentum, it's growing.
Is that a thing, or is you just making stuff up now?
You would think I was just making that up, but literally, Tony's team sent me a little presser saying, Tony Mentum is growing right here in the great state of Wisconsin.
Yeah,
of course, you know what I would have said?
Tondella?
Well, Tondella, or perhaps I would have said it musically, Dom, with some Evers Clear.
Oh, no. Crudy, you're really digging for that one. The
I know
90s band Everclear, you mean?
Yes,
Little
that's
Santa
the one
Monica?
I meant.
Yeah, all right.
I saw them in concert in Madison. Maybe it was at the Barrymore. It had a balcony, but I just remember the band was hammered.
Yes.
And they were horrible that night. And they had some young guy come up out of the crowd. Come play the song. You do better. You play it.
You remember the words, right?
That was the best song all night. At least there was a clear guitar lead. But anyways, here is the political lead, Dominic. It's Mueller time. Mueller time. You can hear me, right?
Yeah, man.
It's Mueller
Please.
time.
What? Of course it's Mueller time. It's always Mueller time. Left and right, the Trump administration, the campaign, and now apparently the inauguration is under scrutiny.
Dominic, we've got another guilty plea. I'm going to read Spencer Sue and Rosalind Helderman at the Washington Post, a Washington consultant who advised a Ukrainian political party and worked with the co-defendant of Paul Manafort, pleaded guilty Friday. That's a hard one to read. Friday to failing to register as a foreign lobbyist while working on behalf of a Ukrainian political party. W. Samuel Patton, 47. Well, you're P. Dominic Salvia, 47, aren't you?
Yeah, I am.
Was charged with one count of violating the Foreign Agents Registration Act for failing to register with the Justice Department when he represented a Ukrainian political party known as the Opposition Bloc from 2014 through this year. Patton pled to the count before Judge Amy Berman Jackson in the U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia. I would like to plead guilty, Patton told Jackson. During a hearing, Patton also agreed he had steered an illegal, this is the interesting part, folks, listen closely. Patton also agreed he had steered an illegal foreign donation to Donald Trump's inauguration, telling prosecutors that he had arranged for an American citizen to act as a straw donor to give $50,000 to Trump's inauguration in place of a Ukrainian businessman who was legally barred from contributing to the event. I mean, how many people are legally barred from giving to a presidential inauguration? It's got to be bad, right? Prosecutors with the Justice Department's National Security Division and the U.S. Attorney's Office in the district contended that Patton formed a company. I mean, he went out and created a shell company, Dom.
That's how they do it, man. I mean, we learned these things from the Trump administration.
Contended that Patton formed a company with a Russian national identified only as foreigner A to engage in lobbying and political consulting services beginning. In about 2015, the company received about $1 million for its work advising opposition bloc and members of that party, including a prominent Ukrainian oligarch identified only as foreigner B.
Crudy, there's more to it. We'll get to it. But I think we need to reiterate what is being said here. The man Patton steered an illegal foreign donation to Donald Trump's inauguration from a Ukrainian businessman. Foreign money flowing into Trump illegally through shell corporations and straw purchasers, apparently.
What, Tom, he just couldn't go rent out a floor at the Trump Hotel?
It would have been a whole lot easier.
All the rooms taken?
Right. Now, let's
Lots of ways to launder gifts, donations.
But Crudy, I mean,
bribes to this president.
You already know what Donald Trump's reaction is going to be. You know what the Trumpsters' reaction is going to be. Fake news, illegal investigation, and yeah, maybe there was some Ukrainian money, but it wasn't Russian money. Where's the Russian money? Hashtag fake news.
Where's the Russian, not hashtag Ukrainian collusion?
I'll continue, Crudy.
Up, please.
Patton
please do.
was listed as an executive, and Konstantin Kalimnik, a longtime Manafort associate in Ukraine, as a principal of Begemont Ventures International, a limited liability corporation formed in 2015, as first reported by the Daily Beast, a website for the company linked to Patton's email for inquiries, but did not list the company's clients, as the Daily Beast reported. Patton also reportedly worked at the Oregon office of Cambridge Analytica's parent company. What? I remember that name. SCL Group, on voter targeting in the U.S. 2014 midterm election cycle, according to the Daily Beast, which said he described his work as developing micro-targeting technologies adapted by at least one major U.S. presidential candidate.
You think it was Hillary?
Well, it says 2014. Who knows? Perhaps we'll find out.
Well, presidential candidate, Dom, he worked at, you missed the point of the paragraph. He worked for Cambridge Analytica. That was Trump's, aligned organization.
Yes.
You recall Bannon and the Mercers. That was Cambridge Analytica. Well, he worked for them in 2014. Well, there is no presidential in 14, Dom. So in 2016, one must assume the micro-targeting was done on behalf of the Donald Trump campaign. The presidential. But please continue, my friend.
In court documents, prosecutors allege that Patton also worked with the two foreigners to help Foreigner B make an illegal contribution to Trump's campaign. They said Foreigner B then attended the inauguration with Patton. You think there's pictures? Patton also agreed that he misled the Senate Intelligence Committee when he testified before the panel in January of 2018.
Hey, I got pictures of you and I at that inauguration, Dom.
Patton has a varied resume. He worked in the oil sector in Kazakhstan in the mid to late 1990s and served as main campaign director for George W. Bush 2000 presidential campaign. He also briefly worked at the State Department under Bush and worked as a political consultant in Iraq, assisting officials there in the post-Saddam Hussein period. In a plea agreement read aloud by the judge, Patton agreed to cooperate in exchange for a government recommendation of leniency at sentencing. The charge carries a maximum penalty of 5 years in prison, but both sides agreed there is no recommended sentence under federal guidelines.
So, more trouble for Trump, buddy? Do you think this touches the big boss in any way, shape, or form? I mean, it was just his inauguration. Who knows who's cashing?
Who was in charge? Who was in charge of the inauguration? Don't they have like someone a head, someone to go to who's actually like the inauguration chair?
Yeah, wasn't it Mike Pence? I mean, didn't Mike Pence head up the transition?
I'm gonna have to look it up. I don't know off the top of my head.
That check for deposit.
But nothing to see. Illegal investigation, if you believe the words of Donald Trump. Deep state, if you believe Sean Hannity and the right-wing conservative Republicans. But here we have an admission of guilt of funneling foreign money, Ukrainian money, to the Trump campaign, in this case through the Trump's inauguration. And then the guy went with Patton. It was his date.
You were my date.
You were my date.
Tony Mentum growing in the state of Wisconsin. It's so ever clear to the eye to see.
Oh, see, that's a long way to go.
I'm feeling very punny this Friday afternoon. Harley-Davidson's roaring outside, Everclear roaring on your speakers now. We are the Devil's Advocates. Friday, we air grievances, and yours can be top of the list. 844-967-2789. Come back with us. Join us on the phones. Tweet us out. Hell, you could even text on, but I don't check the text.
To conceal the source of money as by channeling it through an intermediary.
But there's been no collusion, no obstruction, and virtually everybody agrees to that.
I'm sure of it. I hate him.
Do you own a rental property, or would you like to partner with a rental investment team? Call the pros you can trust at CCL Management. Rental expertise second to none, a general contractor on staff to direct repairs and improvements, and real estate brokerage services tailored to the small investor. If you're ready to invest in rental property or just need professionals to manage your real estate portfolio, call us, CCL Management, at 608-833-0009 or visit us on the web at cclmanagement.com.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your basement. There's a pair of overalls that overall you're not so into anymore. A perfectly good laptop that hasn't sat in your lap in months. And even more stuff, but still no jobs? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed, and they're the stuff inside your stuff. Even inside that winter coat that moved with you to Phoenix. Our job is to unlock those jobs, and it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
I'm jumping in with my clothes on.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb, but if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Learn more at ultimatepartyfoul.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
I'm Jesse Pica-Holz with Solidarity Realty. If you're looking for a home in Madison or Dane County, call me. I know Madison. I know homes. I'll protect your best interests. Call Solidarity Realty at 608-284-9311 or search solidarityrealty.com.
Brad Zog, owner of Zero Res Madison, resisting dirty carpets and harsh chemicals. Brad, why should people use Zero Res Madison?
Why wouldn't you clean your carpets like this? We're not using any soaps. We're not using any chemicals. We cost about the same as the other guys. You look at it and you go, where's the downside? You got a completely green clean. That's awesome. We guarantee it. There's no downside.
There's no downside. Use Zero Res. Call Zero Res today. 608-848-9000. Zero Res. Spell it forward or backward. It's the right way to clean.
Listen and imagine. It takes 5 seconds to send a text, and for those 5 seconds, you're driving blind. Life is worth more than a text. Stay alive. Don't text and drive.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, Noise, and the Ad Council.
Indoor baseball, anyone?
Most party fouls are pretty dumb, but if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Learn more at ultimatepartyfoul.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
You're not wired to have a response to this sound. But when we introduce a new stimulus, save the food. We're helping to stop food waste. Save the food. For tips and recipes, visit savethefood.com. Brought to you by NRDC and the Ad Council.
The Forum, hosted by Sherwin Hughes, exclusively on Real Resistance Radio. Call in live at 844-967-2789 and give your thoughts, feelings, and opinions on local and national topics. Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. until 11 a.m., it will not be what you expect to hear, but we will definitely give you what you need to know. That's The Forum, hosted by Sherwin Hughes on Real Resistance Radio. Always streaming live on realresistanceradio.com.
I would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for those meddling devil's advocates.
And we are back. Thank you for listening to the Devil's Advocates radio show live on Real Resistance Radio, streaming on the YouTube and Facebook pages. Yes, Jeff, the volume is on. You can also hit us up on Twitter at Devil Radio, and the party line, talk or text. It's Friday. Air your grievances at 844-967-2789.
Dominic over at the Daily Beast online, they've begun calling it Mueller Fridays. Headline, very interesting article. Republican lobbyists steered foreign money to Trump's inaugural committee. We heard the Washington Post take Lachlan Markey. I'm going to read some from this piece. A Republican lobbyist pled guilty on Friday to running an illegal foreign lobbying campaign, admitting in a plea agreement that he helped steer illicit foreign contributions to President Donald Trump's inaugural committee. No collusion. Sam Patton was charged with violations of the Foreign Agents Registration Act stemming from undisclosed work on behalf of the Ukrainian political party. The charges were referred to the U.S. Attorney in the District of Columbia by Special Counsel Robert Mueller, who was investigating the Russian influence in the 2016 election. The indictment was first reported by Bloomberg shortly after it was reported that he would plead guilty. Though charges were not brought by Mueller directly, Patton has agreed to cooperate with the special counsel's investigation as part of his plea agreement. The plea agreement focuses on the FARA violations, but Patton also copped to causing foreign money to be paid to the 2016-17 Presidential Inauguration Committee, according to the agreement. Patton said he had solicited a U.S. citizen to serve as a straw purchaser. We talked about this. $50,000 was funneled. Foreign nationals, them, are prohibited from donating to U.S. political groups, such as an inaugural committee, and U.S. citizens are prohibited from knowingly making political contributions in another's name. Hence the no straw buyer thing. In addition to his current legal troubles, Patton has also been questioned by the Senate Intelligence Committee, according to a source familiar with the interview. The interview was regarding his long-standing relationship with Trump's one-time campaign chairman, Paul Manafort, and Konstantin Kilimnik, a Manafort business association whom Mueller has accused of ties to Russian intelligence. In his plea agreement, I think we covered this, Patton admitted to making false or misleading statements in his testimony before the Intelligence Committee.
Shame,
Did we mention
shame.
that?
Know your name.
He did so, the agreement states, in an effort to conceal the inauguration straw donation scheme.
Scheme. You think it was the only scheme going on, Crudy?
I think it's just the first one that's come to light. Patton also admitted that he and an unnamed Russian national received more than $1 million to promote the interest of the Ukrainian opposition bloc party. Talked about that. The U.S. prosecutors say the money was routed through a bank account in Cyprus. You think who's the guy? The secretary. The
Secretary of Commerce.
Wilbur Ross.
Ross, yes.
You think
the
it went
dancing
through
fool.
Wilbur Ross's bank in Cyprus, where Manafort also held shell companies used to illegally hide funds from U.S. tax collectors. Cyprus accounts were also used illegally to reimburse Patton for the inauguration straw donation scheme. Patton and the unnamed foreign national, dubbed Foreigner A in the agreement, drafted op-eds in American publications and set up, it kind of sounds like Scott Walker's campaign, and set up meetings with members of Congress and executive branch officials to advance their clients' interest on U.S. soil. Such conduct requires registration as a foreign agent with the Justice Department. Patton registered as a foreign agent for separate work on behalf of a Georgian political party, so it's not that he was unaware it was a necessity, right, Dom?
Right.
Prosecutors note suggesting he was aware of our registration requirements. See, I'm one step ahead of the author.
You should read it first.
Patton's personal website says that he has worked for multiple political parties and office holders in the Ukraine, exceeding expectations in each instance. Well, today is exceeding our expectations, Tom.
Yay!
It also boasts work on behalf of clients in Georgia, Kyrgyzstan, Iraq, Kurdistan, and wait for it, Russia.
Russia.
And you took note of the fact earlier, Patton also worked with the company Cambridge Analytica.
No, nothing to see here. Illegal investigation, fake news, and it's all
straw donations.
It's all the deep state's fault, Crudy. It's all the deep state's fault. It's the Justice Department. They're in bed with the Clintons. Don't look at the foreign money funneling in to Trump's inaugural committee. Nope, don't look at that. Look at Hillary Clinton's emails. That's the real crime right now.
Well, you know what the real crime is? We haven't had this conversation yet with James Santel. And the former U.S. attorney makes me aware he will be able to join us in the happy hour.
All right.
Making it a little bit happier.
Excellent.
Folks, we're the Devil's Advocates. We'll talk more about Mueller Time Fridays with our friend Jim Santel. Come back. You on the phones, 844-967-2789.
It's the wrong thing to do, but I don't care.
No collusion, no obstruction, and virtually everybody agrees to that. Very powerful. Very
Join the
powerful.
resistance against dirty carpets. Call Zero Res Madison today for our summer special. Clean and sanitize 3 rooms for only $139. Call 608-848-9000 or schedule online at ZeroResMadison.com. Zero Res, spell it forward or backward, it's the right way to clean.
180 over 111, and I had a stroke. I couldn't speak or walk.
This is high blood pressure. Get back on your plan. Go to loweryourhbp.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association, American Medical Association, and the Ad Council.
The Earl Ingram Show. Join me at a new time, weekday mornings, for the Earl Ingram Show, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. on Real Resistance Radio, Monday through Friday, and as always, Saturdays noon to 3. The Earl Ingram Show, streaming live at realresistanceradio.com. Don't miss it. Voice of the voiceless, champion of the working class, the Earl Ingram Show.
Well, back in my day, we didn't build walls, we tore them down. That's why I listen to Real Resistance Radio. What's a firewall?
So, Jesse, why should someone buying a home pay for an agent when they can go online or call the number on a for sale sign?
Great questions. First of all, never call the number on a sign to see a home. That's the seller's agent, and they don't represent your interests. If they show you a home outside of an open house, you forfeit your ability to have someone negotiate in your corner at no cost to you.
Well, with interest rates still at historic lows, how can buyers still get a great deal and protect their rights?
Step 1, find a buyer's agent that you trust. Your agent will best find the home that fits your needs, anticipate problems, and negotiate on your behalf from offer through closing day. And most home listing contracts stipulate that the seller's agent pays for the buyer's commission.
Solidarity Realty. They're real, they're solid, they're honest. Whether buying or selling in Madison or Dane County, call Solidarity Realty, 608-284-9311, or find them at solidarityrealty.com.
I would like to thank you, President Trump. I also want to express my thanks to Governor Walker.
Foxconn CEO Terry Goh is thankful to the Republicans who delivered his $4.5 billion in corporate welfare.
Thank you to Foxconn.
Scott Walker thanks the foreign corporation who received the largest corporate welfare subsidy in history.
Thank you, Mr. President.
What about thanking the hardworking Wisconsin taxpayers you saddled with a generation of debt for a project that may never be paid back?
People should be rushing to me and patting my back and say, hey, thank you, Mr. Foxconn.
Call Governor Scott Walker at 608-266-1212 and tell him no thank you to corporate welfare, no thank you to environmental rollbacks, no thank you to a project that may never be paid back, no thank you to Foxconn. This message was paid for by the People for People Corporation. Donate online at p4ppc.org, p4ppc.org.
For Real Resistance Radio, my name is Keith Gosted. Milwaukee City Attorney Grant Langley's response to Sterling Brown's civil lawsuit against the MPD for violating his civil rights has caused 12 members of the Common Council to issue a joint statement. The statement says that Langley's response does not reflect the policy position of the city. The city attorney's statement said that Brown was at least partially to blame for injuries and damages that occurred when the Bucks player was thrown to the ground and tased by Milwaukee police. Today, highs in the upper 70s, mostly sunny for Milwaukee. Madison should see a high of 81 with some clouds. Overnight lows around 70, chance of scattered thunderstorms across southeastern Wisconsin. Saturday, Milwaukee and Madison expect the same, scattered showers with a high of near 80. Sunday, more scattered showers with a high of 82. Overnight lows into next week, Monday, in the upper 60s. For Real Resistance Radio, my name is Keith Gosted.
Save the $2 on tomorrow's paper. Listen to the Devil's Advocates today.
Welcome back to the Devil's Advocates Radio Show. You see where I'm going with this, Dom?
I haven't quite gotten the song yet. This is what, Foreigner?
Foreigner A or Foreigner B?
Urgent.
Foreigner 4. You get it? The unnamed Foreigner?
I got you.
See, I'm stretching today. I'm stretching.
Took me a while.
Stretching for the funny here.
I was going with urgent, like something's urgent. It's urgent. It's Friday. We're the Devil's Advocates. It's urgent. We air some grievances. You're always welcome. 844-967-2789.
Dominic, a little bit of sad news breaking at this hour. Not sad yet, but, bad medical diagnosis. Wisconsin Justice Shirley Abrahamson says she has cancer but plans to finish term in 2019. Wisconsin Supreme Court Justice Shirley Abrahamson disclosed Friday that she has cancer and will likely be in a wheelchair when she hears arguments next week.
Wow.
In an open letter to be released later Friday, Abrahamson wrote that she still plans to complete her term that runs through next summer. And here's a quote from her statement. "The people of the state elected me to a position of public trust and responsibility, and I intend to keep that commitment." She did not say what type of cancer she has or when she was diagnosed. Abrahamson, the longest-serving member in the High Court's history and its first female justice, in April said she was undergoing medical treatment without providing other details. In May, she announced she would finish her term but would not seek re-election next year. Abrahamson missed arguments in 3 cases in October of 2017 for medical reasons, and this spring began participating in arguments by phone. The justices have had the summer off, but will begin hearing arguments again on Wednesday. Abrahamson noted judges and justices participated in cases by phone from time to time, and that Wisconsin justices handled many matters, such as votes on cases, by email. My own participation by phone may well continue on occasion, she wrote. In the meantime, when I next appear in court, it will probably be in a wheelchair, and I will still have my voice, and most of the time, a smile. U.S. Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg was treated in 1999 for colon cancer and had surgery in 2009 for pancreatic cancer. When she was on the bench in the 1980s, U.S. Supreme Court Justice Sandra Day O'Connor underwent chemotherapy. Neither missed any arguments, according to the New Yorker. And in 2004, U.S. Supreme Court Justice, Chief Justice William Rehnquist did not attend some arguments while he was being treated for thyroid cancer. Rehnquist, a native of Shorewood who died in 2005, participated in some cases by reviewing transcripts and briefs, but decided to step aside in other cases, according to the Washington Post. Abrahamson, 84, was appointed to Wisconsin's High Court in 1976 by Democratic Governor Patrick Lucey after Chief Justice Horace Wilkie died. She kept her seat by winning elections in 1979, 1989, 1999, and 2009, and known nationally as a leader in liberal legal thought. Abrahamson is part of a minority on the court that is deeply divided ideologically. Running to replace Abrahamson, and Dom, we think it's just the fall election that has importance. No, the spring elections in the state of Wisconsin, another Supreme Court race. Running to replace Abrahamson next spring are appeals court judges Brian Hagedorn, that's the Scotty Wanker appointment, and Lisa Neubauer. Hagedorn is a conservative and Neubauer is a liberal, and the election will determine whether conservatives keep their 4-3 majority or widen it to 5-2. The election is in April, and the new justice will be seated in August. Final thoughts here, Dom. Abrahamson said Friday she will stay on the court until then. If she left early, the governor would name her replacement. So here's a woman going through cancer treatment and would rather stay on the court than give Scott Walker the opportunity to impanel another justice in waiting. GOP governor, if you didn't know, he's a Republican, folks. Governor Scott Walker faces Democrat Tony Evers, the state's school superintendent, this fall. In 1996, Abrahamson became Chief Justice before Dominic took it away from her with a referendum vote.
Hagedorn, I believe his brother is the head of the Republican Party in Milwaukee County. So, yeah, they are deep into the Republican Party, no doubt about it.
One more quote from the Justice Abrahamson. I will continue to express my point of view. I will do so on the bench and if principles and values integral to the great state of Wisconsin and its courts continue to be challenged. I will also express my views off the bench if necessary and as appropriate, as will we, Dom.
Well, good luck, Shirley.
Yeah, no doubt. Lady that is to be admired. I don't know if we'll get any sort of warm fuzzies from our friends on the Republican side of the aisle, Dom. But Shirley Abrahamson, I think, has certainly been a lioness on that court.
No doubt about it. No, there's not going to be any warm fuzzies. Walker's going to be mad that he can't appoint Hagedorn prior to the election so he could, roll in as an incumbent like he did last time, talking about Walker.
That is true, Dom. 844-967-2789. Now, one name I've heard bantered about, Sue Happ, our friend Sue Happ. The she was the Democratic Attorney General nominee, but Sue Happ, of course, is the current district attorney of Jefferson County, and I find her quite capable, quite compelling. I'd like to see her throw her hat in the ring, Dom.
So there's already one liberal judge who has thrown their hat in, so that'd be a primary then?
Well, it doesn't work like that. These are nonpartisan races, supposedly. So you'd throw them all in the mixer, and 2 of them would come out for a general election.
That's right.
So think of it in this regard, Dom. The primary for this race to replace Shirley Abrahamson, that'll happen in February.
Wow. It just never stops. You can never take your eye off the ball. You always have to listen to Real Resistance Radio, the Devil's Advocates. Otherwise, you won't know what's going on.
Each and every day, 5 days a week, and hell, even tune in for some reruns if necessary. Get caught up. Listen to the podcast. They're very, very important. Dom, since we're, talking politics a little bit, I got an article here. Scott Walker. Oh, wait. We're going to talk about the
I got to hang on the Walker
unpopularity of Donald Trump. I mean, we'll talk about our unpopular governor. I promise. Here's a promise. We'll make a promise. There will be Walker bashing. # Walker bashing.
Always.
But it's not the time.
Let's do some Trump trashing.
Let's do.
Crudy, ABC News is reporting disapproval of Donald Trump is at a new high. Support for the Mueller investigation is broad, and half of Americans in a new ABC News Washington Post poll favor Congress initiating impeachment proceedings against the president.
That's the trifecta of good luck for Donald Trump, isn't it, Tom?
60% in the national survey disapprove of Trump's performance in office, numerically the highest of his presidency, albeit by a single point. That includes 53% who disapprove strongly, more than half for the first time. 36% approve, matching his low.
Dom, where do you throw yourself in? Approve or approve strongly?
I disapprove strongly. Now, Crudy, this poll, and I did pull it up because I saw some rumblings from our trolling righty friends. The methodology in the ABC News Washington Post poll was conducted by Landline.
They pulled the old Charles Franklin and oversample Republicans, Dom? What happened?
Not Republicans, landline and cell phones, August 26th through the 29th, in English and Spanish, among a random national sample of 1,003 adults. The results have a margin of error of 3.6 points, including the design effect. Partisan divisions. Here we go, Crudy. 33% Democrats, 25% Republicans, and 37% independents.
You still think 25% of Americans would publicly admit to being Republicans?
Hell, 36% approve of the job that he is doing. So, yeah, unfortunately, I believe that's the case. It's the policies, not the person, Crute.
Dominic, one factor for Trump's unpopularity, contrary to his drain the swamp rhetoric, 45% say corruption in Washington has increased under Trump. Well, just 13% say it's declined. I'm glad, if nothing else, Tom, after what was it, the 8 guilty pleadings of Cohen, the fixer, and the 8 findings of guilt feloniously against Manafort, the campaign chair. I mean, at first I thought this man, the Teflon Don, if you will, I thought he was going to skate on this as well. I thought there would be no electoral ramification. The earliest polling I'd seen showed little or no indication that Trump had been wounded. But this would seemingly indicate that Trump is wounded.
Well, perhaps. I don't think you can look at the news. And, of course, today, another big day. Let's remind everybody, a person has admitted guilt in funneling $50,000 to the Trump inauguration from Ukrainian sources. And this guy also happens to have contacts in other countries, including Russia. I mean, this is new news. This is specific news of foreign money going to the Trump inauguration. Every week it seems like there's something new going out. I don't think it's going to get any better, even with a small oversampling of independents and Democrats in this recent poll. Hell, if you're telling me that 13% think that it's gotten better as far as corruption is concerned, that's a terrible number. It's just going to continue to fall.
Dominic, more from this ABC News polling report. Suspicions of the president relating to the Mueller investigation are substantial. 61% say that if assertions by Cohen are true, Trump broke the law. Well, it's 100%, right? If what Cohen said is true, then Trump broke the law. But apparently there's, 61% that are willing to acknowledge that point. 53% also think Trump obstructed special counsel Robert Mueller's work. So we got 53% that already believe the president of the United States has obstructed justice, has obstructed the investigation of him. Well, Dom, that seemingly matches the number of Americans that currently believe he should be subject to impeachment. When you got 53%, when you got over half of Americans, or maybe those were just the ones that strongly disapproved of him. What was the impeachment number? I want to make sure I get that right.
The impeachment number... I don't have a specific. Hang on here. 53% approve strongly. So that
disapprove.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, sorry. 53% disapprove strongly. So of course, there's going to be more that disapprove, but perhaps not so strongly.
The national survey produced by ABC by Langer Research Associates finds that half the public, let's call that 50%, supports Congress initiating impeachment proceedings against Trump. That's right now, Dom, 49 to 46%. 49 to 46 people favor impeachment now, predicated on the evidence we have right now.
Some greater detail, if we go down that road, Trump's approval rating is 12 points lower among women than men, and the gender gap is reflected elsewhere. Also noted, Crudy, 57% of women favor Congress initiating impeachment proceedings. That drops to 40% of men.
And overall, 63% of Americans back Mueller's probe. 63%, Dom. That's encouraging math. 52% supported strongly, a high level of strong sentiment. Well, I strongly approve of Mueller Fridays. How about you, my little buddy?
Yeah. And Republicans, anybody out there, I know it's a holiday weekend, please defend your president. Did he not know that Ukrainian money was being funneled into his inauguration committee? What do you think? I mean, this is a guy who takes care of the details. He's in charge. Trump runs the show, so did he not know this? Maybe it was Junior's fault.
Dominic, Americans call the Manafort prosecution justified by an overwhelming 67 to 17% margin, including nearly half of Republicans. The public opposes Trump pardoning Manafort by essentially the same margin, 66 to 18, with 53% strongly opposed. Even among Republicans, 45% oppose a Manafort pardon, 36% support it. Those 1 in 3, right, Tom? So if I understand the math right now, 49% of Americans want to impeach Trump, and you would need 67% of U.S. senators to agree to that. Well, right now, that seemingly, if we had evidence similar to what was found in the Manafort trial, the public support 67 to 17. Manafort prosecuted justifiably. Come back. Devil's Advocates, Real Resistance Radio.
The number's probably 28, 29, as high as 35. In fact, I even heard recently 42%. Where is the collusion? You know, they're still looking for collusion. Where is the collusion? Find some collusion. We want to find the collusion.
Have you outgrown your house? Are you sick of apartment living? Not ready to buy but know you need to move? Hi folks, this is Tom Hartman for CCL Management in Middleton. You should consider moving up to one of the finer rental homes CCL Management represents. Unique houses and condos, always clean, most are pet friendly. Visit cclmanagement.com today to find your new home. CCL Management, Dane County's premier leasing and property management company.
Call CCL Management at 833-0009. That's 833-0009 or visit cclmanagement.com today.
You wanted to see me?
Yes, please, have a seat. So here's the thing. When this company brought you on, we took a chance on you. You didn't have that 4-year college degree we typically look for.
Right.
But we gave you a shot anyway. And since then, you've worked incredibly hard and given it your all.
Thanks.
You've been an important asset to the team, but I don't think you can be an intern here anymore. We want to hire you.
You're serious?
Absolutely.
Find your next great employee. Introduce yourself to the Grads of Life. Who are they? Talent worth knowing about. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
I won't let you down.
I know.
Don't miss out on a resource many innovative companies have already discovered. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
Donna from Louisiana. The storm just hit, and we went from donating to the food bank to needing it.
Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Join the resistance against dirty carpets. Call Zero Res Madison today for our summer special. Clean and sanitize 3 rooms for only $139. Call 608-848-9000 or schedule online at zeroresmadison.com. Zero Res, spell it forward or backward, it's the right way to clean.
The Packing House, open every day of the year for dinner, including all holidays. Family owned and operated since 1974, lunch Monday through Friday, live music Wednesday through Saturday. Enjoy steaks, ribs, seafood, fish fries, and prime rib. Easy access from anywhere, across from the airport on Layton. Find us online, packinghousemke.com, or give us a call, 414-483-5054.
Have a drink at Regano's Roman Coin. This neighborhood corner tavern is as classic as the street it occupies. Family owned and operated since 1966, Regano's Roman Coin is located in a former Pabst Tide House on historic Brady Street, serving an array of craft beers with a focus on Wisconsin breweries. Also, weekly drink specials, trivia on Wednesdays, seasonal sporting events, parties hosted for all occasions, and pet friendly. Open 11 a.m. Tuesday through Friday, 10 a.m. Saturday and Sunday. Closed on Monday. Regano's Roman Coin, Milwaukee's pet friendly, cash only order and classic corner tavern.
In the wake of a disaster, what one thing can you send that will help people the most? A blanket, a tent, a sandbag, a doctor. Actually, if you send a monetary donation, you send all these things. Even a small donation can make a big impact and can quickly become exactly what people affected by disaster need most.
In the wake of a hurricane, your monetary donation can make a huge difference to those in need. To donate, visit supporthurricanerelief.org. That's supporthurricanerelief.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
The Resistance is live 7 days a week here on Real Resistance Radio. Tune in Saturdays for Busted Pencils, fully leaded education talk with Dr. Tim Slecker, 11 a.m. to noon. Then it's the voice of the voiceless, champion of the working class, Earl Ingram's Saturday show is live from 12 to 3 p.m. From 3 to 4, it's State Rep Joe Costa Zamaripa hosting The Joe Costa Show, followed by The Dawn of the Resistance with Maggie Dawn, 4 to 6. Mandatory listening, always streaming at realresistanceradio.com.
60% of the time, they're right every time. Dom and Cruz are the Devil's Advocates.
And we're back. Thank you for listening to the Devil's Advocates radio show. Happy Friday. We're streaming on the YouTube and Facebook pages. We are on Twitter at Devil Radio. And the party line always open for your grievances at 844-967-2789.
Dominic, I want to throw a few more of the numbers out. This ABC News poll on the president, the highly unpopular president, the corrupt president. But let me read
the should-be impeached president.
Well, most women believe that way now, and a majority of Americans. The president's approval rating is highly partisan, but with relative challenges for Trump across the board. His job rating matches his low among Republicans, 78%. That's the low water
Come
mark
on,
with
Republicans.
Democrats, 6% approval ratings. 35% among independents. Dom, that's where he's got real trouble. If you've lost 2/3 of the independents, you've lost a lot. I read on. He's at new lows. Here is the really stunning numbers. He's at new lows among college-educated Americans. Everyone but the governor that we're currently talking to might be in that group, albeit by just a point. 29% approve, moderates 24%. And what do you think Trump's approval rating is with African Americans right now, Dom?
Well, according to him or
college-educated African Americans?
8.
3%. With a nearly unanimous 93% disapproval rating with college-educated blacks. The single biggest shift is among college-educated white women. Where's the white women at, Dom? Just 23% now approve of Trump. 23% of college-educated white women now approve of the performance of Donald Trump, down 17 points from his peak. I mean, his approval with women, college-educated, has cut nearly in half. I read on. His disapproval is up 20 points from 55% to 75%. Still, even among non-college educated white men, a core Trump group, his approval is down 15 points, with 70% this spring to 55% today.
That's going to be a problem. Wait till they find out that their hero, the Cheeto Jesus, the hairy carrot, has been cashing checks from the Ukrainians. And what are the odds that this is the only transaction that was funneled through to the Trump inauguration from foreign sources?
You're saying if they did it once, perhaps there's some possibility it happened more than once?
I just throw it out there.
Dominic, 70%, 70% of liberals, I count myself amongst them, support impeachment, declining to 51% of moderates and 30% of those Dominic-loving conservatives. Impeachment support is highest, a vast 80% among blacks. 37% of whites agree.
So, Crudy, what do? Your favorables are down, your disapprovals are up. Mueller's dropping cases left and right. There's chaos going on. What do you do if you're Donald Trump?
Campaign rally road trip?
Absolutely.
Let's get on Air Force One and go see some fringers out there in flyover country. Make America great again. Folks, we are the Devil's Advocates on Real Resistance Radio. We'll bring you some of the deranged sound of our president in the next hour. Make a little time for some Walker bashing, perhaps. And don't forget, coming up in the happy hour, we got James Santel, former U.S. attorney. And in the next hour, Dom, at some point, we've got a friend, Mike Pflughoeft, media relations with the Harley-Davidson Motor Corporation. Big Harley anniversary, 115th block party on Brady. Come back, more Devil's Advocates.
The Ukraine. You know what the Ukraine is? It's a sitting duck.
You concerned about speaking up at work? Do you feel like you have no say in your day-to-day work routine? Join Teamsters Local 344. Call 414-258-4545. Get a seat at the table. Join your brothers and sisters in negotiating for better wages, hours, and working conditions, and be part of the most powerful union in North America. Teamsters Local 344 covers sales and service throughout Southeast Wisconsin and package and airlines statewide. Contact Teamsters Local 344 at 414-258-4545 or at local344.org.
I'm Andy Buck, Field Representative with Painters and Allied Trades of Wisconsin. It's an issue that brings constant challenges for building contractors. How to find qualified painters, glazers, and drywall finishers. IUPAT knows what you want. A professional job performed by skilled workers who care about safety, training, and finishing strong. Workers who are reliable and ready on demand. Let IUPAT provide the people power that you need. You'll feel confident the job is finished right. Connect at IUPATDC7.com and finish strong.
If you're like a lot of companies, you know you need IT, but you aren't sure where to start. That's where Five Nines comes in. Hi, I'm Todd Stryker, President and CEO. For almost 15 years, Five Nines has been providing IT solutions to companies just like yours. We'll show you the solutions that are right for your business and give you the roadmap to success in the future. Find us at 5nines.com. That's the number 5, NINES.com.
Tune in for a special Real Resistance Radio broadcast on Monday, September 3rd from 11 to 3 as we honor organized workers at Labor Fest. Celebrate with us as we talk with labor leaders and union workers on the holiday created by labor. Come to the Summerfest grounds at the lakefront in Milwaukee. Admission is free and there's entertainment all day long for the entire family. Stand in solidarity with union sisters and brothers to honor and celebrate labor at Labor Fest. Special broadcast begins at 11 a.m. Brought to you by Teamsters Local 200 and 344, the Milwaukee Building and Construction Trades Council, and Milwaukee Labor Council. You are listening to Real Resistance Radio, WRRD 1510 AM Waukesha and WTTN 1580 AM Columbus. Always streaming at realresistanceradio.com.
Fit for a queen, an American patriot. I'm Mike Moss. The Reverend Jesse Jackson addressing the funeral of the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin.
She's blessed to have the powerful gift of singing, perhaps the most remarkable voice, unique the world has ever heard.
Actor Tyler Perry.
I'm so grateful to God that Aretha walked this earth. I'm grateful to God that we had the fortune to be on this planet at the same time as Aretha Franklin.
In the nation's capital, the body of the late Senator John McCain lies in state, honored by House Speaker Paul Ryan.
Though the highest office eluded him, he attained what is far more enduring: the abiding affection of his fellow citizens, and an example for future generations.
McCain will be laid to rest tomorrow after a funeral at
Looking for a job worth talking about? Teaching is creative, collaborative, and intellectually challenging. See why teachers have better work stories at teachdfw.org and learn more about becoming a teacher. Brought to you by Teach and the Ad Council.
Ignacio, what do you got for us today?
Hey, I quit paying attention for like maybe one day, and all hell breaks loose. That goes to show me I got to pay attention every single day to your radio program, or else who knows what'll happen.
If you don't listen to the Devil's Advocates 3 hours every day, Nacho, you're missing a lot.
You got that right. I just learned that today. I turned it on and I'm listening, and you really just rocked my world today. I was just totally blown away.
Save the $2 on tomorrow's paper. Listen to the Devil's Advocates today.
Totally blown away.
For Real Resistance Radio, my name is Keith Gosted. 16 tornadoes were confirmed by the National Weather Service during Tuesday's storms. These were confirmed Wednesday and Thursday. Only one was confirmed to be an EF2, while 10 were listed as EF1 with speeds between 73 and 112 miles an hour. 5 were EF0s, which are clocked at winds between 40 and 72 miles an hour. 3 men held up 5 taco trucks on Wednesday in less than 2 hours on Milwaukee's south side. Anyone with information about the robberies is asked to call Milwaukee police at 414-935-7360. The Packers lost their final preseason game against the Chiefs 21-33 with the final 53-man roster due tomorrow at 3 p.m. And the Brewers beat the Reds yesterday 2-1, winning the series in Cincinnati. The Brewers remain on the road and start a 3-game series against the Nationals tonight. For Real Resistance Radio, my name is Keith Gosted.
The following program is a presentation of DC Communications, LLC. Warning, you are about to listen to the greatest radio show ever. And due to contractual obligations and to shield our airwaves' corporate licensees from any semblance of liability, responsibility, and gullibility, we must tell you the views represented on this show are not necessarily those of this station or its management. This radio show contains differing points of view on current political topics, and due to the nature of its contents, it should be heard by everyone. Thank you for listening. Now live from the heart of liberal Wisconsin, where the political party is just beginning, welcome to the Devil's Advocate Show. Best friends proving it's never personal, only politics.
Please allow me to introduce myself.
Now here are your hosts, Dom and Crute.
Welcome back. Hour 2 of the TGIF edition of the Devil's Advocates Radio Show. This hour, Dom, some more Trump trashing and some Walker bashing, and we're going to run out of time. And we just started, so we better get started. Donald Trump, the highly unpopular president of the United States, under what? New accusations of accepting money laundered from foreign corporations to his inauguration committee. And Trump, of course, just had 2 of his closest, the fixer and the campaign chair, either plead guilty or found guilty on 8 charges, hence the new lowered approval ratings. And Dom, if you're that unpopular and you're Donald Trump, the narcissist, you better go out to the adoring crowds of Mike Pence territory.
Oh, no.
You better take Air Force One to Indiana, and that's exactly what the man did.
And we do have some sound of the campaign rally 2020 keep America great, I guess. Let's play it for the people, if you would. Fancy Brian, cut number 1, Trump in Indiana.
A vote for Mike Braun is a vote to, did you ever hear this before? Make America great again.
Man, they do love themselves some Trump in Indiana.
Well, I think Ronald Reagan said it first once upon a time, but do, appropriate it for yourself, Donald Trump.
So we have some topics from the president last night. Let's get to them. Cut 2.
And after the deal was made with Mexico, Canada came along, and they're negotiating right now at the White House, at our territory. And it could happen. We'll see what happens. And if it doesn't happen, we'll put tariffs on the cars coming in from Canada, and that'll be even better. So.
Well, Dominic, I've got a new headline. I made off-the-record comments. Trump confirms that he insulted Canada in a furious rant against the media. I'm going to read briefly from the Raw story, my favorite, Dom. President Donald Trump on Friday attacked Bloomberg News reporters for allegedly leaking out his comments that blatantly insulted the Canadian government. Wow! I made off-the-record comments, all caps, to Bloomberg concerning Canada, and this powerful understanding was blatantly violated, all caps. The president wrote, "Oh well, just more dishonest reporting. I am used to it. At least Canada knows where I stand."
Oh, Trump, cry me a river. Didn't you have an off-the-record conversation with the editor of the New York Times that you went and lambasted and talked about afterwards?
Dominic, among other things, the president said he was scaring the Canadians into submission by repeatedly threatening to what? Impose tariffs, while at the same time warning that leaking his insults of Canadians would cause the deal to fall apart because It's going to be so insulting, they're not going to be able to make a deal. Well, stop insulting them then.
That's the negotiating tactic, man. That's how you do it. If you're Trump, you insult everybody.
Well, Dominic, despite the president's assertions, it is still possible that the leaks of his remarks came from another official within the Trump White House and not from the Bloomberg reporters themselves.
Ooh.
The Trump White House on Friday refused to confirm or deny the authenticity of the president's remarks, although it seems the president himself has since confirmed them. Yeah, when you accuse someone of disclosing your off-the-record comments, and Dom, I've kept some off-the-record conversations. You know, they were spoken in privacy, and they were not shared on this fine radio program. But ultimately, when you say, I shared them off the record, you are, in essence, confirming the veracity of the statements when you're saying you leaked out my off the record, right?
Do we have these specific words that were said by Trump in this off-the-record conversation with Canadian envoys?
Not in the Brad Reed piece at the Raw story, Dom. Only the part that I did read to the audience that, according to the Toronto Star, that Trump intended to scare the Canadians into submission by repeatedly threatening to impose tariffs. And it's going to be so insulting, they're not going to be able to make a deal if these off-the-cuff, out-of-the-ass comments are, reported back to the Canadians? Which it was, and he confirmed that they were his words by saying, but that was off the record.
Art of the deal.
He's so smooth, this guy, right?
Yeah. That's the point, perhaps. He is a bull in a china shop. Let's keep going. The adoring fans in Indiana, they love themselves some Trumpsters. Let's talk about...
Now, is this Trump rally off the record or on the record?
No, this is all on the record. It was on Hannity. It must be right. Let's do cut 3.
We have the best economy in the history of our country.
What?
Factories are reopening. Jobs are pouring back into the United States.
Unicorns and rainbows are everywhere to be found. And I am the greatest president ever.
Just don't Google me. Let's do the next one, please.
That we as a country cannot tolerate political censorship, blacklisting, and rigged search results. And you know it can go the other way also.
I don't know where to start. You could go the other way. Yes, Donald Trump, I agree. Start your own search engine, right? If you don't like the results of the algorithms being provided by Google or Bing or Yahoo or whatever one you're using, Safari perhaps, use the good old-fashioned American ingenuity. Write yourself your own program. Get some algorithms. Start your own search engine, Donald Trump. Isn't that the American way?
Well, Dom, isn't Google a private corporation? Can't they run their business in any damn way they choose? I mean, really, they're not FCC regulated. The interwebs, he forgets. Donald Trump forgets. He's the one that got rid of net neutrality, right? Well, this is what happens. Even if you believe the accusations being made by the president, wouldn't he suffer some culpability by being the guy that rolled back net neutrality?
And let's not forget what these algorithms. Of course, they are trade secrets. We don't know exactly how they're written, but
they're proprietary.
They're depends on who's doing the searching. Perhaps there's cookies saved on someone's own website that'll trigger. There's lots of variables that would go into it. But let's take an example. Who did you vote for, Crudy? What was the Republican you voted for? What was his name? Frothy Santorum. If you Googled Santorum for the longest time, the first result was a nasty description of what a Frothy Santorum might be. And I'm not going to go into it. You can Google it yourself. Now, through some efforts from Santorum and other conservatives, they've now pushed that nasty definition down the line. But when
Dan Savage and some people worked really hard to push that up the Google search results.
It was fantastic. Now, is that Google's fault if we did frothy Trump? What is Trump? $2 Chuck. What is Trump? and we make something and it goes viral, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, you're searching for Trump, and this particular, whatever it may be, item comes up, a picture, a definition, a rip comes up. Is that Google's fault? Or is it the people who are utilizing the algorithms and putting their inputs in and sharing and so forth? Of course, Donald Trump, if you don't like it, start your own damn search engine, man.
Are you implying that Trump's prior search history may reflect on his future results?
Yes.
I mean, if you're basically cruising Hannity, Fox News, Breitbart, and whatever Alex Jones calls his little outfit, if that's the entirety of your searching, well, maybe you're going to find some slanted results when you do the Googling.
Versus somebody else. Again, it's just asinine, but there you go. Donald Trump hating on Google. Let's do one more. Trump's big guy. Big fan of Trump. Bobby Knight, cut 5.
Was anybody here the night I traveled in with Bobby Knight when we
were there?
We were there.
I never saw anything like that in my life. We were in this massive arena. We walked in.
About 4,000.
And I introduced Bobby Knight. And I'm telling you, the people of Indiana, they went crazy.
So when you're down in the polls and your whole crew's getting arrested and comes out today that you're taking foreign money, it's now, I guess, proven, man pled guilty, you go out and you get in front of your people. You need some adoring fans. It's like Superman in the sun. You gotta get some strength back to make it through a long holiday golfing weekend.
Maybe you hearken back to an old Hoosiers movie or something. You call upon Bobby Knight, and remember the night Bobby Knight was here? And don't forget who else was there that night. Digger Phelps from Notre Dame. And I believe we also saw Lou Holtz. But one thing I didn't see at the Donald Trump rally, Dom.
What?
Any freaking Canadians.
Blame Canada.
Folks, we are the Devil's Advocates. You can blame us if you want. We are the enemies of the state. This is Real Resistance Radio. You can join us here, air your Friday grievances. We'll get around to the Walker bashing, but I got a little more on Trump when we come back.
Blame Canada! Blame Canada!
They're not even a real country anyway.
My son could have been a doctor or a lawyer, rich and true. Instead, he burned up like a piggy on a barbecue.
Should we blame the matches? Should we blame the fire? Or the doctors who allowed him to expire?
Heck no! Blame Canada! Blame Canada! With all the hockey hung on below, and that pitch and Murray too. Blame Canada! Shame on Canada! Oh, the smoke must have the trash, must dash the laughter and fun must all be a duck. We must blame them and cause a fuss before somebody thinks of blaming us.
Think of your children pledging allegiance to the maple leaf. Mayonnaise on everything. Winter, 11 months of the year. Anne Murray, all day, every day.
I don't like Canada. It's freezing cold.
Wisconsin's doing terribly. The roads are a disaster because they don't have any money to rebuild them. They're borrowing money like crazy. They projected a $1 billion surplus, and it turns out to be a deficit of $2.2 billion. The schools are a disaster. The hospitals and education is a disaster. And when I see Scott Walker with his little motorcycle and puts his helmet on, and he gets off and he makes a speech, but he's always riding like, he gets off a bike like he's a big tough guy, okay, or a little tough guy. Their lobbyists, their special interests, and their donors will start calling. They gave you $1 million to your campaign, and this one gave you $5 million, and this one, you have to do it. You know what he's going to say? Okay, I'll do it.
Mr. Trump, you're using the talking points of the Democrats, and as we all know, that
I'm using
failed
facts.
This message was paid for by the People for People Corporation. Donate online at p4ppc.org, p4ppc.org.
Melissa from Michigan. I work an extra part-time job serving lunch at my child's school, but I still can't afford to put food on our table.
Daniel from California. Choosing whether to pay the rent or pay to fix the car to get to work doesn't leave us with much at all. Now we can't even pay for meals.
Hunger is a story we can end.
End it at feedingamerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
The Resistance is live 7 days a week here on Real Resistance Radio. Tune in Sundays for Meet the Press with Chuck Todd from 11 a.m. to noon. Then it's the Jeff Santos Show, kicking ass for the middle class from 12 to 3 p.m. And Citizen Action's Battleground Wisconsin rages from 3 to 4 p.m. Get your groove on with Stu Man PM, politics and music, 4 to 6 p.m. with Stu Daniels. Mandatory listening, always streaming at realresistanceradio.com.
The Packing House Restaurant, located at 900 East Layton Avenue, offers fine dining and casual supper club style. Family owned and operated for over 40 years, the Packing House features great steaks, prime rib, and the best fish fry around. Join us for live music on Wednesday through Saturday evenings. The Packing House Restaurant, open for lunch, Monday through Friday, and dinner nightly. Call us at 414-483-5054 or visit us online at packinghousemke.com.
Do you own a rental property, or would you like to partner with a rental investment team? Call the pros you can trust at CCL Management. Rental expertise second to none, a general contractor on staff to direct repairs and improvements, and real estate brokerage services tailored to the small investor. If you're ready to invest in rental property or just need professionals to manage your real estate portfolio, call us, CCL Management, at 608-833-0009 or visit us on the web at cclmanagement.com.
I'm jumping in with my clothes on.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb, but if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Learn more at ultimatepartyfoul.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Driving means
freedom,
exploration,
fun,
pride,
flexibility,
protection, friendship,
escape,
independence.
Distracted driving means
danger,
recklessness,
irresponsible,
chaos, police,
devastation,
injury,
tears, death.
Safe driving means staying alert and staying alive.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org, a message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, Noise, and the Ad Council.
Join the resistance against dirty carpets. Call Zero Res Madison today for our summer special. Clean and sanitize 3 rooms for only $139. Call 608-848-9000 or schedule online at ZeroResMadison.com. Zero Res, spell it forward or backward, it's the right way to clean.
The Devil's Advocates, because it's always 420 somewhere.
There's a garden.
And we are back from the 420 break. Thank you so much for listening to the Devil's Advocates radio show on Real Resistance Radio, streaming live on YouTube and on Facebook, on Twitter at Devil Radio, and always toll free. Talk or text, air your grievances, 844-967-2789.
Going into a long holiday weekend, my buddy. But we're going to roll out the barrel and have a little good time here on a Friday afternoon with you. You can join us on the phones, 844-967-2789. And don't forget to tune in Monday, a big Labor Fest episode. The broadcast, it starts at 11. Dom, Crudy, Big Earl in the morning. We'll all be at the Labor Fest at the Summerfest grounds. Please tune in right here on Real Resistance Radio. That big show starts at 11 on Monday. No live Devils, but you got us live from the Summerfest grounds. That's all you really need.
And if you don't tune in, come down, hang out, support labor on the holiday that labor created. Crudy,
or you're a bad human being like Donald Trump.
Over the barrel. Why are we playing some polka? We're a rock and roll station here, man. Well,
I thought we were playing it in honor of Tony Evers.
The Evers Mania. What's happening right now? Tony
Mentum.
From the AP, Crudy, listen to this one. A senior Justice Department lawyer says a former British spy told him at a breakfast meeting 2 years ago that Russian intelligence believed it had Donald Trump, quote, over a barrel, according to multiple people familiar with the encounter. The lawyer, Bruce Orr, also says he learned that a Trump campaign aide who traveled to Moscow had met with higher-level Russian officials than the aide had acknowledged, the people said. the previously unreported details of the July 30th, 2016 breakfast with Christopher Steele, which Orr described to lawmakers this week in a private interview, reveal an exchange of potentially explosive information about Trump between two men the president has relentlessly sought to discredit. They add to the public understanding of those pivotal summer months as the FBI and intelligence community scrambled to untangle possible connections between the Trump campaign and Russia. And they reflect the concern of Steele, a longtime FBI informant whose Democratic-funded research into Trump ties to Russia was compiled into a dossier that the Republican presidential candidate was possibly compromised, and his urgent efforts to convey that anxiety to contacts at the FBI and the Justice Department. The people who discussed Orr's interview were not authorized to publicly discuss details of the closed session and spoke to the AP on the condition of anonymity. Among the things Orr said he learned from Steele during the breakfast was that an unnamed former Russian intelligence official had said that Russian intelligence believed, quote, they had Trump over a barrel, unquote, according to people familiar with the meeting. It was not clear from Orr's interview whether Steele had been directly told that or had picked that up through his contacts, but the broader sentiment is echoed in Steele's research dossier. Steele and Orr, at the time of the election, a senior official in the Deputy Attorney General's office, had first met a decade earlier and bonded over a shared interest in international organized crime. They met several times during the presidential campaign, a relationship that exposed both men and federal law enforcement more generally to partisan criticism, including from Trump.
Dominic, didn't we make our friendship over a little racketeering ourselves?
Isn't that how it all works out? The Republicans, Crudy,
so.
the deep state, contend the FBI relied excessively on the dossier during this investigation to obtain a secret wiretap application on Trump campaign aide Carter Page, whose ties to Russia attracted FBI scrutiny. They also say Orr went outside of his job description and chain of command by meeting with Steele, including after his termination as an FBI source, then relaying information to the FBI. Trump this month proposed stripping Orr, who until this year had been largely anonymous during his decades-long Justice Department career, of his security clearance, and has asked how the hell he remains employed. Of course, Trump has called Russia investigation a witch hunt and has denied any collusion between his campaign and Moscow. Apparently today we find out it was the Ukraine, but we continue. Trump and some of his supporters in Congress have also accused the FBI of launching the entire Russia counterintelligence investigation based on the dossier. But memos authored by Republicans and Democrats and declassified this year show the probe was triggered by information the U.S. government received earlier about the Russian contacts of then-Trump Foreign Policy Advisor George Papadopoulos. The FBI's investigation was already underway by the time it received Steele's dossier, and Orr was not the original source of the information from it.
Roll out the barrel. It's a Friday party right here on the Devil's Advocates Real Resistance Radio. Little Trump trashing, well, that's in the rear view. Now it's time for a little Walker bashing. Come back with us. Join us, I say. Air your grievances here, 844-967-2789. And it's time to catch a little Tony Mentum on the other side of this short break.
Did you say Spanky was in a lot of trouble?
I find it sexy.
Sinner.
5 your local single-source IT solutions provider, specializing in cloud technology, consulting, servers, networks, and hosting. We manage your IT so you can focus on running your business. Enjoy technology. Enjoy 59s.com.
Indoor baseball, anyone?
Most party fouls are pretty dumb, but if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Learn more at ultimatepartyfoul.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
You're not wired to have a response to this sound. But when we introduce a new stimulus, save the food. We're helping to stop food waste. Save the food. For tips and recipes, visit savethefood.com. Brought to you by NRDC and the Ad Council.
I'm Jesse Pica-Holz with Solidarity Realty. If you're looking for a home in Madison or Dane County, call me. I know Madison. I know homes. I'll protect your best interests. Call Solidarity Realty at 608-284-9311 or search solidarityrealty.com.
You are listening to 1510 AM WRRD Waukesha, Milwaukee, and 1580 AM WTTN Columbus, Wisconsin's Resistance Radio Network. Brad Zog, owner of Zero Res Madison. Brad, why should people use Zero Res Madison?
Why wouldn't you clean your carpets like this? We've got a patented system. We also do another step that most people don't do. We have a double rotating brush machine that we use when we pre-treat the carpet. So this helps dig up any of that stuff that's deeper in your carpet that the vacuum doesn't get. We're going to provide that intermediary step before we clean with our empowered water.
Call Zero Res today, 608-848-9000. Zero Res. Spell it forward or backward. It's the right way to clean.
Only in the forest can you see this. And this. And this. But nothing beats the moment you see that.
Cool!
That's your child's eyes opening up to a world of possibilities.
I didn't know it could do that!
Because one trip to the forest can spark a world of difference.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go, like hiking, canoeing, fishing, or camping. Or create your own adventure with family and friends, and you might just see this. Your moment's out there. Find it at discovertheforest.org. That's discovertheforest.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Tune in for a special Real Resistance radio broadcast on Monday, September 3rd from 11 to 3 as we honor organized workers at Labor Fest. Celebrate with us as we talk with labor leaders and union workers on the holiday created by labor. Come to the Summerfest grounds at the lakefront in Milwaukee. Admission is free and there's entertainment all day long for the entire family. Stand in solidarity with union sisters and brothers to honor and celebrate labor at Labor Fest. Special broadcast begins at 11 a.m. Brought to you by Teamsters Local 200 and 344, the Milwaukee Building and Construction Trades Council, and Milwaukee Labor Council.
For Real Resistance Radio, my name is Keith Gosted. Records show nurses at Lincoln Hills School for Boys failed to detect a 14-year-old inmate's appendix was about to burst back in 2016. Rather than taking the inmate to the hospital for 3 days, they fed him crackers and Gatorade. One nurse was fired and no other discipline occurred for any of the staff. Physician Kristen Wells told investigators in a hospital setting that inaction would be labeled failure to rescue. Lincoln Hills is scheduled to close in 2021. Highs today in the upper 70s, mostly sunny for Milwaukee. Madison should see a high of 81 degrees with some clouds. Overnight lows around 70 with a chance of scattered thunderstorms across southeastern Wisconsin. Saturday, Milwaukee and Madison expect scattered thunderstorms with a high near 80 degrees. Sunday, more scattered showers with a high of 82. Overnight lows next week into Monday in the upper 60s. For Real Resistance Radio, I'm Keith Gosted.
The Devil's Advocates, making radio great again.
Welcome back to the Devil's Advocates radio show. Not the happy hour yet, but it's coming soon. It's Friday. It's a holiday weekend. Hope you're having fun. Hope you're listening. You are, or you wouldn't hear my voice right now. And Dominic, we always like it when the audience joins us on the phones. 844-967-2789. I understand Pizza Box Mike standing by in the queue. Let's get to him. Welcome, Pizza the Box.
Hey, man, did you guys hear? John McCain died.
I did hear that.
No, really? That's sad.
Yeah, well, even Jesus only took 3 days. I mean, come on, man. It's like, what the... I'm like, every day. When did he die? It was like 6 days ago, something like that. I don't know. But, I mean, look, that has nothing to do with respect or disrespect. It just has to do with, oh, my God, can we move on now? I mean, there's a lot of other people in the world that I would consider a hero over that, like Aretha Franklin.
Right.
Hey, but, you know, if Tony wants to get a little momentum going, he's going to have to toughen up a little bit there, buddy. Get in there, take them glasses off, and don't be afraid to bloody that walker's nose. And by the way, you'll still be able to see better when you take your glasses off than old Google Eyes Walker. So don't be, intimidated. Don't be defensive when around this guy. Look at him and laugh. Do the Biden to him. Just slap him around, man. The guy's got nothing. So they're going to run negative. We know that. We know they're not going to play fair either, right? So that's the only way Walker can win. And we got to stop him, man. We got to stop him this time. Otherwise, I'm going to go crazy.
All's fair in war and politics, I guess. Pizza Box Mike, are you feeling the Tony Mentum out there on the streets?
I will the next time I talk to him because I'm going to get him tongued up. I am. I'm going to let him know. Don't be afraid, man. You got to hear it from regular people. I'm a regular guy. But you know what? At least when I'm up around the square and stuff, people know me, man, all the way from people that live on the street and people that live in the condos at the top of the towers there, too. You know, so, hey, you got to get to know everybody if you want to do something in this human race. That's what I'm gonna side with the human race on this one if it becomes a race war.
Well, Michael, you are an ordinary average guy, and the Devil's Advocates, well, we're kind of a big deal.
We all are, man. We all are. We're a conglomerate, man. We're a collusion. We're collusion, man.
We're colluding right here every day on the radio. Pizza Box Mike, thank you for calling us. You can be like Pizza Box 844-967-2789. Dom, I hope we're all starting to feel the Tony Mentum. Let me read from their press release today. Inside elections move Wisconsin's governor race from lead Republican to a toss-up. Madison, today, Inside Elections editor Nathan Gonzalez moved the Wisconsin gubernatorial race from lead Republican to toss-up, the latest sign of momentum building behind Tony Evers' campaign. Earlier this week, a Suffolk University Journal-Sentinel poll showed Evers leading Walker and warned of potential Walker fatigue from midterm voters.
Oh, yes.
It was barrel fatigue we all had.
I got some serious Walker fatigue.
The Evers campaign also announced last week that it raised $1 million from more than 4,000 donors in just the first week following the primary. Here's a quote. This ratings change confirms everything we've seen on the ground. Tony Evers has all the momentum as we head into the final 2 months of the campaign, said Tony for Wisconsin campaign manager Maggie Gow. Wisconsinites are behind Tony's positive vision to build a state with better roads, improved schools, and access to affordable health care. Voters are tired of Scott Walker, I'll say, putting his personal political interest ahead of Wisconsin families, and they know it's time for a change. Feel the Tony Mentum.
I mean,
we're going to be polkaing on election night all around the state of Wisconsin.
And a couple of mean games of euchre, boy.
And Egg McMuffin in every bowl. These are some of the things that Tony Evers says that, you know, he likes particularly. How can you call him boring, Dom?
Well, I mean, we have to compare that to Scott Walker. And what do we know? Scott Walker likes to fish, right? Scott Walker.
Fish.
Yeah, I've seen him in a picture in a
Scott
boat behind the governor's mansion, you know, with the rod upside down, fishing. And we know he likes to hunt because he hurt his finger. Didn't he hurt his finger and the gun recoiled?
Well,
we love all four seasons in this state. We have great time, great fun.
Yeah, man.
He claims he's still got the bird, though, Dom.
And we know
I try to give the man the bird every time I'm in Maple Bluff.
And we know that of course, Governor Walker is a working man. I mean, we saw him fill at least, one or two sandbags the other day.
It had to be up to 2 sandbags. He and Tonette collusively filling, you know, a good sandbag and a half, maybe 2, Dom. So he's a working stiff. You know, he rolls up his sleeves and he gets on the state jet and he flies somewhere for a photo op or perhaps even a campaign advertisement.
Oh, what? I didn't know that was okay to do.
Well, I'm not clear that it is, but our friends at One Wisconsin Now are calling the gubernator out for a $2,017 charge for using the state plane to fly to film a campaign commercial. As their press release, One Wisconsin Now is continuing investigation into Scott Walker's serial misuse and abuse of state tax resources has uncovered thorough, newly released open records that the governor flew to Rhinelander on a state airplane at a cost to the taxpayers of over $2,000 on the same day he filmed the television ad nearby in 3 Lakes. Here's a quote from our buddy, Scott Ross, Executive Director, One Wisconsin Now. Scott Walker flew a state plane from Madison to Rhinelander to film his campaign commercial and stuck us with the bill. Using state resources for political campaigns is illegal. That's what Scott Walker has done. State flight records obtained by One Wisconsin Now show that on July 17th, Walker flew to Rhinelander on the state plane at a cost of $2,017.66. That same day in nearby Three Lakes, Walker's campaign filmed campaign commercial footage featuring Walker himself at the Three Lakes School District as well as Three Lakes Diner. One Wisconsin Now confirmed the July 17th school filming date by Walker and his campaign through an open records request with the school district and from social media posts featuring Walker at a local business also featured in the campaign ad. The campaign ad in question was released July 24th and is part of a $4.6 million television ad by Walker and the Republican Party of Wisconsin. And Dominic, a little more here in the press release from One Wisconsin Now. Controversy erupted earlier over the ad because citizens were upset their local schools were being used by the Walker campaign for political purposes. Before Walker used their school as a campaign prop, Three Lakes School District residents were forced to pass a $15 million referendum to keep their schools open because of Walker's cuts to state school aids. And with the new records obtained by One Wisconsin Now from May 1st to July 31st, 2018, the total amount of Walker's misuse and abuse of the state plane as part of his political rehabilitation tour has risen higher between September 11, 2015, when Walker ended his run for president, and July 31st, 2018. He took an astounding 993 flights at a net cost to taxpayers of nearly $1 million.
Crudy, as with previous records, the flight logs One Wisconsin Now received Thursday for May 1st, 2018 to July 31st include a handful of dates where the state was reimbursed for portions of Walker's use of the plane by his campaign, including a flight just 4 days before the Rhinelander trip. However, the official records show taxpayers bore the cost in full for the Rhinelander flights. The latest revelation is part of a pattern of behavior by Walker. On at least 26 occasions in that time span, Walker flew at a cost to taxpayers of over $65,000 to attend closed to the public and media sessions restricted to attendees invited by Walker's office, oftentimes picked from lists provided by lobbyists, fellow Republican politicians, and his state agencies with regulatory power over businesses. Former Walker Cabinet Secretary and recent guest on this fine program, Ed Wall, wrote in his recently released book about his time in the administration that, quote, the administration's fear of a protester spectacle at every stop would eventually turn the town hall meetings into little more than paid infomercial dog and pony shows for future campaign ads. The updated flight records, which One Wisconsin Now is still combing through for additional malfeasance on the part of the governor, are available on their website, onewi.org.
$1 million.
Dr. Evil.
One Wisconsin Now, our good friends, including Scott Ross, who commented there. What about the gubernator using the state plane? Dominic, didn't we learn back in the caucus scandal, or perhaps during the John Doe 2 fiasco, you cannot, campaign on the taxpayer's dime? Well, we've saw a number of convictions on both sides of the aisle during the caucus scandal, saw a handful of convictions from the then county executive's office in the John Doe 1, and of course, other than the bought and paid for Wisconsin conservative bloc on the Supreme Court, we probably would have seen Scott Walker's ass, goose-stepped down for booking and processing, because it was illegal when he was doing it. And of course, he had no qualms crossing even the brightest of those legal lines, Dom.
No, the lesson, Crudy, the lesson isn't not to do it. The lesson is to try to not get caught. The lesson is to throw something else in there where you can claim it's actually for state business. And then while you happen to be there, just line up a commercial to be recorded in a school that doesn't like you very much and still continue using those commercials to run, even though they don't want you to. Because, he's the education governor.
Well, he likes to make that claim, doesn't he? You like to think you're good looking too.
Hey.
And I just like to think I'm the smartest guy in the room. You know, it's all true in our own minds in some way, shape, or form. Folks, we are the Devil's Advocates. You are listening to us on Real Resistance Radio. Love to hear from you. It's Friday. We air grievances. Sort of a catch-all time for you to throw it out there. And we're going to have a fine former U.S. attorney in the 5 o'clock hour, James Santel. He's working. You better be listening. You better be calling right now or texting. Once again, the number 844-967-2789.
Having a great time.
$1 million.
I'm a peacock! You gotta let me fly!
So, do you come to Milwaukee often?
You concerned about speaking up at work? Do you feel like you have no say in your day-to-day work routine? Join Teamsters Local 344. Call 414-258-4545. Get a seat at the table. Join your brothers and sisters in negotiating for better wages, hours, and working conditions, and be part of the most powerful union in North America. Teamsters Local 344 covers sales and service throughout Southeast Wisconsin and package and airlines statewide. Contact Teamsters Local 344 at 414-258-4545 or at local344.org.
Have a drink at Regano's Roman Coin. This neighborhood corner tavern is as classic as the street it occupies. Family owned and operated since 1966, Regano's Roman Coin is located in a former Pabst Tide House on historic Brady Street, serving an array of craft beers with a focus on Wisconsin breweries. Also, weekly drink specials, trivia on Wednesdays, seasonal sporting events, parties hosted for all occasions, and pet friendly. Open 11 a.m. Tuesday through Friday, 10 a.m. Saturday and Sunday, closed on Monday. Regano's Roman Coin, Milwaukee's pet friendly, cash only order-in classic corner tavern.
Tweens have mastered the art of tuning out. Jen, there's a spider in the car. We're turning your room into a home gym. See? Nothing. But some messages need to get through. Like making sure they're buckled up the whole ride, every time. Do whatever it takes to make your child listen. Jen, I friended your boyfriend.
Wait, what?
Buckle up, sweetie.
Never give up until they buckle up. Learn more at safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
180 over 111, and I had a stroke. I couldn't speak or walk.
This is high blood pressure. Get back on your plan. Go to loweryourhbp.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association, American Medical Association, and the Ad Council.
Join the resistance against dirty carpets. Call Zero Res Madison today for our summer special. Clean and sanitize 3 rooms for only $139. Call 608-848-9000 or schedule online at zeroresmadison.com. Zero Res, spell it forward or backward, it's the right way to clean.
Do you own a rental property, or would you like to partner with a rental investment team? Call the pros you can trust at CCL Management. Rental expertise second to none, a general contractor on staff to direct repairs and improvements, and real estate brokerage services tailored to the small investor. If you're ready to invest in rental property or just need professionals to manage your real estate portfolio, call us, CCL Management, at 608-833-0009 or visit us on the web at cclmanagement.com.
I'm afraid right now for the future of my children's generation and those to come.
In this age of mass school shootings, Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker offers the same bold agenda of the National Rifle Association.
Make sure you remember in your thoughts and more importantly in your prayers.
While Walker offers platitudes, he blocks meaningful gun safety legislation.
It's really an honor to work with the NRA, not only in my state, but across the country. And I'm proud of my A+ ranking as a governor.
Walker weakened the gun laws in Wisconsin, and then he got $3.5 million worth of NRA support.
There have been men and women of courage who've been willing to stand up and think more about the future of their children and their grandchildren than they thought about their own futures.
Scott Walker, you are not one of them. This message was paid for by the People for People Corporation. Donate online at p4ppc.org, p4ppc.org.
Once again, the American public has some reading to do. In a 29-page indictment today, Americans need to take a look at page 6, paragraph 20, and here come those important 8 words: to interfere with the 2016 U.S. presidential election. That is it.
Jim, I'm going to make a confession on behalf of the panel. Dom's not going to read the indictments.
Come on, maybe.
The Devil's Advocates, political commentary from the back of the class. The Devil's Advocates, because freedom.
And we are back. Thank you for listening to the Devil's Advocates radio show, Real Resistance Radio. You can join us on the phones, toll free. It's Friday. We air grievances 844-967-2789. Let's get to some callers. We got Ron from San Diego, a long way away. Ron, welcome. Happy Friday. What do you got for us today?
Hey, you guys better get your act together. If you want to keep teachers as a profession, you got to change everything back to the way it was. This is ridiculous. Walker's got to be gone. Republican legislature's got to be gone. You got to give teachers back their rights. In California, we got Democrats who got us a full pension, getting us raises, putting money in education, and you guys are going the wrong way.
Well, no doubt, Ron, but unless you want us all moving to San Diego in your backyard, man, you better stop making it sound a little more joyful. Hey, we got Harley Fest on the street. What do you got?
We got sunshine.
Yeah, nice.
We have no rain for the last 8 years. We have drought. Come on. We're doing great.
Hey, Ron,
well, I was going to say, and legal recreational marijuana. That'd be a big plus.
And no football team anymore. And
hey, Ron, let me ask you, with the state finances in California, I hear the Republicans all the time, the talking heads say, well, you know, California, they're that socialist republic over there. They're blowing everyone's money. No way they can sustain. And now they're talking about some sort of universal health care. They can't afford, paying these teachers. Ron, what's your experience with the state budget? What can you share with the people of Wisconsin?
So I'm actually from Milwaukee. I grew up there till I was 16 years old. So we have a surplus. And what we're doing now is we're putting money away for rainy days when we get a depression or recession back. I think we are spending money way too much in the wrong places, but we have a surplus. And, they can talk about Republican states going, giving back their taxes with, I think you guys need like a Prop 13, get everyone's taxes together and let the state distribute it together, because your property taxes are killing you also.
We don't have the same sort of referendums here in the state of Wisconsin. Tony Evers wants to do an advisory referendum on legalizing marijuana, but we cannot, as citizens, change laws in the same direct method that you can in California. Everything's a little better in California, apparently. But let me throw this little piece in. Dave Zawiefel at the Cap Times. Don't expect to see Scotty Wanker at Monday's Labor Fest. There's nothing that big business fears more than its workers having the wherewithal to stand up for decent pay, respect in the workplace, and safe working conditions. I was reminded of that earlier this week in another anti-union posting by the right-wing McIver Institute, which masquerades as a news service, cheerfully pointing out that state teachers are dropping out of their unions while the rest of Wisconsin's workforce no longer is required to chip in for services provided by unions that represent their workplaces. According to Chris Rochester, the communications director for the Bradley Foundation-supported institute, we're so lucky here in Wisconsin now that 2/3 of teachers have dropped out of their unions thanks to Governor Scott Walker's fabled Act 10. Little wonder, of course, since Walker and the McIver-backed right-wingers in the legislature devastated public employee unions, forbidding them to bargain for wages and benefits and making them annually hold representation elections. Then Walker and his cohort passed a so-called right-to-work law that allows workers who benefit from contracts negotiated by unions the right to freeload. Consequently, it's not hard to explain why, even though we have a low unemployment rate, Wisconsin workers' wage growth continues to lag behind most of the rest of the country. It's interesting that the McIver story, air quotes, was issued a few days before Labor Day, the annual holiday devoted to America's working people, and a celebration of the role that unions have played in building of America and its middle class. Once again, the Madison-based South Central Federation of Labor will take part in the celebration with its annual Labor Fest Monday at the Labor Temple on South Park Street. That event runs from noon to 5:30. And, of course, you know, we're broadcasting Labor Fest from the Summerfest grounds here in Milwaukee, 11 to approximately 3 o'clock. But I read on, as always, the free event is open to the public and will include a lineup of popular local bands, games, silent auction, magic show, and other activities for the kids. And more importantly, an afternoon of camaraderie. Those who attend this year are encouraged to bring donations of laundry detergent, shampoo, toothpaste, body deodorant, handed body lotion, or food gift cards. The Federation is collecting for homeless students in the Madison area. It's always a good place to meet local government leaders and politicians who mingle with the crowd. Not much chance, though, that the McIver Institute's favorite anti-union Politico will be there. Chances are slim that Scott Walker and Leah Vukmers of the world will mingle with the workers when there's work to be done for those with the deep pockets. So writes Dave Zuwiefel, editor emeritus at the Cap Times. We are the Devil's Advocates. It sounds like Brady Street's starting to rock down there, my friend.
Did you say something, Crudy? I don't know if I can hear you. Oh, what a shocker. Governor Walker won't be celebrating Labor Day with labor? Of course not. Maybe he'll be in that plane, jet setting around Wisconsin, so he doesn't have to worry about busting some tires on the Scott holes.
Do you think Gubernator Road King will have his Harley out there on the street this weekend, Dom? Do you think he'll have Tonette on the back? You'll throw her on and you'll ride the used Harley down to Brady Street.
I don't know about Walker, but he seems like the kind of guy who would tow his bike somewhere.
Tow it? Well, can't you put the bike on the state airplane? Can't you fly it somewhere? Right. Deliver it down to Brady Street?
Oh, you're right. What am I thinking? Fly into General Mitchell and drive up the lakefront. Governor Walker, come ride your bike down Brady Street. I wonder how he would be received.
Well, he would have to admit the fact that he has not stood up to the President of the United States, who has called for the boycott of the iconic Harley-Davidson Motorcycle Corporation. It is the 115th anniversary of Harley-Davidson. Brady Street, it's locked down. Nothing but burnouts and drag racing and Harley chicks and motorcycles as far as the eyes can see. And it sounds like a party, the kind of party you want to be at. This is your political party every Friday afternoon. Devil's Advocates, Real Resistance Radio, the happy hour, the party time. It commences right now.
I find it sexy.
Having a great time. I love being governor.
I like to work, so that's not a problem, but this is actually more work.
Here at Bounce Milwaukee, we not only want families and friends to build connections, we also want to grow those connections in our community. That's why every Wednesday night from 5 to 8 p.m., we host Refuel the Resistance. It's a great chance to have a drink in our arcade bar, try something from our fantastic restaurant, connect with progressive activists, and support local organizations. For more information about Bounce Milwaukee's Refuel the Resistance, visit us at bouncemilwaukee.com or call 414-312-4357.
I'm Andy Buck, Field Representative with Painters and Allied Trades of Wisconsin. It's an issue that brings constant challenges for building contractors. How to find qualified painters, glazers, and drywall finishers. IUPAT knows what you want. A professional job performed by skilled workers who care about safety, training, and finishing strong. Workers who are reliable and ready on demand. Let IUPAT provide the people power that you need. You'll feel confident the job is finished right. Connect at IUPATDC7.com and finish strong.
So, Jesse, why should someone buying a home pay for an agent when they can go online or call the number on a for sale sign?
Great questions. First of all, never call the number on a sign to see a home. That's the seller's agent, and they don't represent your interests. If they show you a home outside of an open house, you forfeit your ability to have someone negotiate in your corner at no cost to you.
Well, with interest rates still at historic lows, how can buyers still get a great deal and protect their rights?
Step 1, find a buyer's agent that you trust. Your agent will best find the home that fits your needs, anticipate problems, and negotiate on your behalf from offer through closing day. And most home listing contracts stipulate that the seller's agent pays for the buyer's commission.
Solidarity Realty. They're real, they're solid, they're honest. Whether buying or selling in Madison or Dane County, call Solidarity Realty, 608-284-9311, or find them at solidarityrealty.com.
You are listening to Real Resistance Radio, WRRD 1510 AM Waukesha and WTTN 1580 AM Columbus. Always streaming at realresistanceradio.com.
Musical and political icons honored. I'm Barbara Cusack. The Queen of Soul was laid to rest in grand style in Detroit. Jennifer Hudson among the many musical artists paying tribute to Aretha Franklin during the hours-long funeral. The Reverend Jesse Jackson reflected on the life of his friend of nearly 60 years.
Somewhere between Nashville and eternity, we heard a voice from heaven, 14 years old. Aretha was our queen. She belonged and belongs to us.
Jackson also made note of a societal disconnect as he honored Franklin's legacy of song and civil rights.
Long lines at the death of the icons and short lines for voting, something is missing.
Bipartisanship was on display at today's memorial service for Senator John McCain, as correspondent Jerry Bodlander tells us.
Members of the Trump administration, current and former lawmakers, and some governors attended the memorial service for Senator McCain in the rotunda of the Capitol. Republicans and Democrats walked together as they paid their respects. House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi helped Republican Congressman Sam Johnson get close to the flag-draped casket so he could say goodbye. The 87-year-old Johnson was a prisoner of war in Vietnam with McCain.
A Friday deadline was not met in talks between the U.S. and Canada to reach a new pact to replace the North American Free Trade Agreement. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau says they are not going to cave to the United States.
No deal is better than a bad deal for Canada and for Canadians, and that's exactly what we are remaining firm on.
Talks resume Wednesday. The State Department announced that the U.S. will cut funding to the United Nations agency that helps Palestinian refugees. The action ends decades-long support. The funding cut amounts to nearly $300 million. I'm Barbara Cusack.
Do you love public education? Do you want to support your schools? Then you should support the people who make them work. You should support teachers and their unions. Teachers' working conditions are students' learning conditions, and when the school bell rings, it is crucial that teachers do not check their rights at the door. The ability to organize and advocate around issues that improve the quality of a teacher's workplace will increase opportunities for students and make schools safer for everyone. Stand with teachers, stand with WEAC Region 7.
The Forum, hosted by Sherwin Hughes, exclusively on Real Resistance Radio. Call in live at 844-967-2789 and give your thoughts, feelings, and opinions on local and national topics. Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. until 11 a.m., it will not be what you expect to hear, but we will definitely give you what you need to know. That's The Forum, hosted by Sherwin Hughes on Real Resistance Radio. Always streaming live on realresistanceradio.com.
The nation's highways are expected to be jammed this Labor Day weekend.
We've seen a record number of people on the roads during this year's long holiday weekends. There was a 5% increase on the 4th of July weekend over last year, and also a 5% jump on Memorial Day weekend when a record-breaking 46.9 million Americans traveled over the holiday. This weekend is expected to be just as busy despite the high cost of gasoline. According to the app Gas Buddy, the average price of a gallon of gas in the U.S. right now is $2.84. That's 20 cents more than the previous year and the highest it's been in 4 years. Back in 2011, it was $3.99 a gallon. Steve Kastenbaum, New York.
The Village Voice is shutting down after operating for more than 60 years. News about the New York City publication came today from its owner, Peter Barbie. Defending U.S. Open champion Sloane Stephens advanced to the fourth round by beating two-time runner-up Victoria Azarenka 6-3, 6-4. I'm Barbara Cusack.
5/9, your local single-source IT solutions provider. Specializing in cloud technology, consulting, servers, networks, and hosting. We manage your IT so you can focus on running your business. Enjoy technology. Enjoy 5nines.com.
I'm a retired school psychologist, and helping people was my thing. After my stroke, when Meals on Wheels started, I was on the other end of the stick, so to speak. My name is Julius Gaines, creative writer, poet, photographer.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
I'm Jesse Pica-Holz with Solidarity Realty. If you're looking for a home in Madison or Dane County, call me. I know Madison. I know homes. I'll protect your best interests. Call Solidarity Realty at 608-284-9311 or search solidarityrealty.com.
For Real Resistance Radio, my name is Keith Gosted. Vice President Mike Pence was in town yesterday fundraising for Leah Vukmir. When Pence was asked about the Trump administration's feud with Harley-Davidson, he said, quote, "I'm one of them. I ride a Harley and love it. It's a great, great company." Back in May, Trump imposed tariffs on steel and aluminum from the EU, and in June, Harley announced that it was moving plants to Europe in response to retaliatory tariffs from the EU. In July, President Trump tweeted, "Now that Harley-Davidson is moving part of its operation out of the U.S., my administration is working with other motorcycle companies who want to move into the U.S." Harley-Davidson's 115th anniversary is in full swing. The Lakefront Moto Carnival is taking place at Veterans Park at the Lakefront every day through Sunday. Walker's Point Motorcycle Alley goes from noon to midnight on Friday and Saturday. And motorcycle races are going to be held on the sand at Bradford Beach this weekend. For Real Resistance Radio, I'm Keith Gosted.
The following program is a presentation of DC Communications, LLC. Warning, you are about to listen to the greatest radio show ever. And due to contractual obligations and to shield our airwaves corporate licensees from any semblance of liability, responsibility, and gullibility, we must tell you the views represented on this show are not necessarily those of this station or its management. This radio show contains differing points of view on current political topics, and due to the nature of its contents, it should be heard by everyone. Thank you for listening. Now live from the heart of liberal Wisconsin, where the political party is just beginning, welcome to the Devil's Advocate Show. Best friends proving it's never personal, only politics.
Please allow me to introduce myself.
Now here are your hosts, Dom and Crute.
Welcome back to the Devil's Advocates Radio Show. Dominic, we are sliding into the 115th Harley Anniversary Brady Fest Happy Hour, and we're welcoming back a fine guest, a former U.S. attorney. He's James Santel. He's a friend of ours, and we try to call him every Friday when it's Mueller time, like it is this Friday. Jim, welcome back to the big show.
Mike and Dom, always good to be with you, even on a Labor Day weekend here. Looking forward to our chat as always.
Thank you, Jim.
Well, we are as well, sir, and we're getting very close to the political window, Jim. 60 days before the election. Well, it's called a political window for broadcasters, but I didn't understand that such a political window existed for special counsels, Jim.
And, Mike, your first question this afternoon is a great one, again, as we go into what is being touted as this 60-day period. As late as this afternoon, I see that the president's lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, former U.S. attorney, is once again invoking it as a clear and hard rule. In fact, Mr. Giuliani and listeners should know there is no such thing as a formal 60-day rule. Here's what this is all about. Back in 2012, Eric Holder, former attorney general, my boss, at the time, issued a memorandum that said and articulated a principle long been in place, but made it clear for prosecutors, U.S. attorneys, assistant U.S. attorneys around the country and at Maine Justice, said prosecutors should never be prompted to charge a case for the purpose of affecting an election or giving an advantage to a particular candidate. Those are my words, not specifically his, but very close to that. Basically saying, whatever you do, don't do something motivated principally by the interest of affecting the election or somehow giving some advantage to a candidate. There is no specific reference to 60 days or 90 days or 30 days in that memorandum or in any other document officially recognized or adopted by the Department of Justice. It is a general guideline, and it has regrettably been interpreted by, with all due respect, Mr. Giuliani and others as requiring that now Bob Mueller shut down for the next 60 days. He's going silent. There's no such mandate, and frankly, beyond that memorandum, and not a rule, but a memorandum of encouragement and of good policy articulation by the Attorney General, it is very clear to me that Robert Mueller will not be closing shop effectively, maybe already reportedly already done so as of 5 o'clock Eastern time and coming back sometime after the election. He will continue to work, as will others. Among other issues that I know both you and Dom appreciate fully, as do your listeners, we've got a trial coming up 3 weeks from Monday, Paul Manafort #2. And this one is also going to be attracting lots of attention during this so-called 60-day hiatus, which simply doesn't exist.
Well, Jim, I'm not sure that there's any due respect to Rudy Giuliani, but let's talk about this newest breaking news, this Sam Patton, who pled to being a foreign agent without registering, but perhaps more importantly, he created a shell corporation to funnel about $50,000 in illegal Ukrainian contributions to the Trump inauguration committee. Now, how big a deal is this, Jim? Does this happen all the time? Did Obama have shell corporations funneling foreign Ukrainian contributions to his inauguration?
I don't recall any in my experience during the time that I was with the Department of Justice and certainly an appointee of the Obama administration. And again, your point is a good one, Mike. The Foreign Affairs Registration Act, called FARA sometimes, is what Mr. Patton today pled guilty to. One count of working basically as an unregistered agent for, once again, a Ukrainian political party opposition bloc. We're also tied up with this, a fellow named Konstantin Kalimnik, who we've heard from before in other settings, also charged with foreign agent violations. And today, Sam Patton, again, a name that we have heard a little bit, but not a whole lot about, is pleading guilty, charged with this one count. Not often invoked by the Department of Justice. I don't know its specific history, but it's not obscure either. It plainly prohibits people from working for a foreign government, foreign entities without registering. We've seen other people in this group run afoul of the same kind of principle. And so today, he comes forward, pleads guilty to this. The more significant portion of this, which is you've just identified, is once again, what is Mr. Patton doing? He is, let's use the word, cooperating with the Mueller investigation. He's cooperating with the government. Understand, too, that today's charges come out of the D.C. U.S. Attorney's Office, National Security Division. We've seen that before, but all government is plainly focused on these kinds of cases. Patton now, once again, adding his name to the list of many, many people working with the government, providing information to Mueller and others about exchanges with foreign nationals, in this case, Ukrainians, although we've also got lots of other tendrils here as well. And so the connections but with others are reasonably clear already. You indicated plainly the inauguration committee and funneling money of perhaps about $50,000 there to a Cypriot bank. Getting tickets for this Ukrainian individual to come in and attend. And again, there's also a reference in all of this to a company that we've heard from before called Cambridge Analytica. So all of this much tied together, and the latest piece that Mueller continues to put together in describing for us bit by bit in significant ways what this has all been about.
Do the newest pleadings address the relationship between this Sam Patton and the recently tried and found guilty Manafort?
There's no doubt that Sam Patton has been an associate of Paul Manafort and Rick Gates. That's his history. There is no doubt that is a connected piece of this. You do have to do a little bit of line drawing to put all this together. And as we've all indicated in the past, that sometimes can be complicated given the great numbers of players involved, the participants in this. But it is difficult not to draw those lines. Remember, once again, that Paul Manafort recently convicted in Virginia for those basically his money transactions, five tax fraud counts, one hiding a foreign bank account, 2 bank fraud counts. And what do those have to do with? Those all had to do with his involvement, again, with Ukrainians in connection with his getting money, not reporting them on taxes, engaging in money laundering activities, all of that Ukrainian related. Interestingly, again, the trial that's beginning on September 24th, 3 weeks from this coming Monday, is also related to Ukrainians. If you think about the Virginia case now completed, we have the convictions, the hung counts there as well, as being money transactions. think about the upcoming D.C. case on the 24th as being about what Paul Manafort actually did for the Ukrainians, the work that he did. And so he's got 7 more charges there. You recall that he's got a conspiracy to defraud the U.S. involving money laundering, again, being an unregistered agent of foreign principals, counts 3 to 5. And then you also recall that during the course of the Manafort prosecution, he engaged in some witness tampering. There are a couple of counts at the very end there, numbers 6 and 7, that will tell us more about what he did there. And virtually all of those, Mike and Dom, also once again relate to his work for the Ukrainians, much connected to Sam Patton's involvement today and what he's pleading guilty to today.
Folks, you are listening to the Devil's Advocates radio show on Real Resistance Radio. That's Jim Santel, former U.S. attorney, joining us on the phones. Jim, I want to get back to this Sam Patton issue briefly, if we may. This was regarding donation, surreptitiously to the inauguration committee. Now, how is the inauguration committee separate from the campaign committee, and are some of the same players involved?
Yes, the answer, I think, is fairly clear. Plainly, many of the same players are involved. Inauguration committee plainly put together for the purpose of supporting financially all the trappings of a presidential inauguration. But even though it certainly sounds like and is not a formal governmental entity, it plainly exists for the purpose of the celebration, the party of any of our inaugurations of a new president, still is subject to federal law. And that's where this becomes important. Whether you're a campaign official or you are working on the inauguration committee, it is illegal to accept payments and the income of monies from foreign nationals at a minimum, and this is described today, without reporting, without abiding by the law, doing those kinds of things that make it clear that monies are coming from a proper source and that everything that's being done to support this, effectively this party on behalf of our new president, is legitimate and according to law. And so the combination of the inaugural committee, campaigns, my own sense is going to be very difficult to distinguish one from the other, and then just further complicates our understanding, if you will, of what happened, but also makes Mueller's investigation even a bit broader today than it has been before.
And Jim, given this scenario on the guilty plea, knowing that they looked into this inaugural committee, can we assume that whoever's doing the prosecution on these cases, if not Mueller, the D.C. folks, that they've looked at every transaction that's gone in and out of that committee? Would this kind of plea, this investigation, allow them to open the books, as it were?
Your question, again, so very good, underscores a point that we have talked about before, which is we know a portion of what Bob Mueller knows. And every day, even whether it's Sam Patton's name suddenly coming up today, you recall in the past a fellow named Alex van der Zwaan, the Dutch lawyer, Richard Pinedo, these names that we have not heard before, and all of a sudden they're in the front page. All of this, and even today's reference again to the inauguration committee, underscore this very point. That is that Bob Mueller has had for a long period of time access not only to all these people who are cooperating, who are pleading guilty, who are providing information, but, as you indicated in your question, access to bank records, access to transactional documents, access to, if the people are still writing checks these days, those kinds of things, telephone toll records, emails, letters, communications of all kinds. What we see as people like Sam Patton come forward and plead guilty, and others who are known and unknown to us previously, is Bob Mueller releasing bit by bit small portions of this large corpus of information that he and his staff plainly know. The answer to your question is, my strong sense is that the inauguration committee and all of those documents and those transactions are well known to Bob Mueller. We do not know if there will be more coming out of that particular piece of this, but certainly the clear answer to your inquiry is Bob Mueller is sitting on and has had access and continues to have access to great amounts of the financial and transactional information, bit by bit, released into public domain through plea agreements. And
Jim, do you have a few more minutes for us?
I do, absolutely.
Come back, more Devil's Advocates with Jim Santel, our fine guest.
The Ukraine is weak. It's feeble. I think it's time to put the hurt on the Ukraine.
If you're really, really pathetically weak, the country's going to be overrun with millions of people.
You not say Ukraine weak?
Find some collusion. We want to find the collusion.
Have you outgrown your house? Are you sick of apartment living? Not ready to buy but know you need to move? Hi, folks. This is Tom Hartman for CCL Management in Middleton. You should consider moving up to one of the finer rental homes CCL Management represents. Unique houses and condos, always clean, most are pet-friendly. Visit cclmanagement.com today to find your new home. CCL Management, Dane County's premier leasing and property management company.
Call CCL Management at 833-0009. That's 833-0009. Or visit cclmanagement.com today.
Music is a bridge between the material and the spiritual. My name is Harvey Lauer, and I'm 82. As a blind person, you have to be aware that nobody can tell you what you can or can't do. You really have to try things. My folks got me a little radio in 1940, and that was the best Christmas present I ever got. When I was 11 years old is when I started to play music, play the piano, and then the accordion, and then the cello. My wife, who was also blind, was a good cook. When she died, that's when I started Meals on Wheels. America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
Donna from Louisiana. The storm just hit, and we went from donating to the food bank to needing it.
Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Join the resistance against dirty carpets. Call Zero Res Madison today for our summer special. Clean and sanitize 3 rooms for only $139. Call 608-848-9000 or schedule online at zeroresmadison.com. Zero Res, spell it forward or backward, it's the right way to clean.
Hi, it's Scott Walker.
Scott, David Koch. How are you?
Hey, David. I'm good. And yourself?
I'm very well.
On February 22, 2011, Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker took a call from journalist Ian Murphy pretending to be billionaire political activist David Koch.
What we were thinking about the crowds was planting some troublemakers.
You know, the only problem with because we thought about that.
You just heard Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker say he actually considered planting troublemakers. Scott Walker wrote in his book, "The fact is we never considered putting troublemakers in the crowd to discredit the protesters." He concluded by saying, "But I had made it seem like we had." Call Scott Walker at 608-266-1212. Ask him if he lies to his friends, is he lying to you?
Well, I'll tell you what, Scott. Once you crush these bastards, I'll fly you out to Cali and really show you a good time.
All right, that would be outstanding.
This message paid for by the People for People Corporation.
Whoa. The moment my son saw a redwood tree.
It's huge!
Is the moment I knew that for him,
You can't even see the top of that thing.
even the sky has no limit.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go. Your moment is out there. Find it at discovertheforest.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
We got Mark Pocan live via phone. Mark, does Paul Ryan hate poor people?
Oh, he hates poor people and middle-class people. I mean, I think when he was probably 5 years old playing with Play-Doh, trying to, adjust the taxes on Play-Doh. So, to be fair, I think he's doing what he always said he was going to do. It's just no one actually believed he was either that cruel, evil, or dumb to do it.
The Devil's Advocates, weekday afternoons on 1510 a.m., Wisconsin's Resistance Radio.
The Devil's Advocates, so relevant they have 1 foot in tomorrow.
And we are back. Thank you for listening to the Devil's Advocates radio show live on Real Resistance Radio. If you miss any of this fine program, please check out the website, realresistanceradio.com. You can listen to and download podcasts and interviews.
It is a Harley party on Brady Street, and it's a party on this show because we got a fine guest. We've asked him to stick around. James Santel, former U.S. attorney, doing our little Mueller Time Friday. Jim, I got a few more questions. I appreciate you sticking around. we talked about the 60-day window. Obviously, the midterms, well, they're right around the corner. And, Jim, I had the expectation set that we were going to have some sort of report on obstruction sometime between now and the midterms, perhaps by the end of summer. Well, this weekend's kind of the unofficial end of summer. James Santel, do you expect some sort of report from Mueller on obstruction sooner than later?
It is, as always, difficult to say. And the last thing I think anyone who is wise and thoughtful watching this would be to predict exactly what Bob Mueller is going to do and what his timetable is. Plainly, part of his commission is to produce this report to Congress, plainly to the Department of Justice, and to summarize the results of his investigative work. Having said that it's difficult to predict, and Bob Mueller does things according to where the investigations should properly go, according to the timetable that they will indicate. Even today's plea guilty by Sam Patton suggests to me that we're not near the end of that. We have talked in months past about whether we're at the beginning of the beginning, the middle of the end of the middle. The answer is I think this is still a very active investigation. We still have many people who are cooperating. Roger Stone surfaced again the last couple of days, and he is once again predicting that he and others will be indicted. That may or may not be the case. There are many unfinished tendrils to this, even in the public domain, that seem yet subject to whether prosecution or pleas, other things like that. And my own sense is that it would be unreasonable to expect that Bob Mueller in the next 60 days or even shortly after that is going to issue this omnibus report, even at a time when we are still indicting and charging and getting the cooperation of Sam Patton. We have got individuals, Mike Flynn, others who have not yet been sentenced. The Paul Manafort matter is still very much under prosecution here. There is a lot of active work going on here, and my own sense is that it is once again unlikely that sometime before November we're going to see this omnibus report effectively wrapping all of this up. Much more likely sometime well into 2019. And as I've commented before, even once that is concluded, people like Paul Manafort may well be pursuing appeals on their convictions, and that will take months, if not years beyond that. So I would not hold your breath necessarily. I'm happy to come back on the air with you and talk with you further if I am proven wrong, but my sense is an awful lot of activity still underway by Mueller, and according to his own time and timetables, he will do what he needs to do.
Well, Jim, we're not even clear if a president can be compelled to testify. We're not clear if a president can be indicted, but I am very clear from the reporting of CNN that Rudy Giuliani has a counter report. No matter what Mueller says, they're going to obfuscate and they're going to muddy the water. I see the next trial, perhaps, Jim, as a political trial. It's the midterm elections, and a lot of the midterms I think will be about deciding the fate of the House of Representatives and perhaps the future impeachment path of this president. Jim, do you think we'll see a trial in the public effectively, no matter what Mueller may find?
I think that we've already got that effectively by not only Rudy Giuliani, but others, Jay Sekulow, others of the president's legal team, talking not only in the talk shows and news programs on TV and radio, other places in the media. There is plainly, as you, the two of you have indicated before, there are two separate tranches on this. One is the legal path, which we have been spending a lot of time talking about, which makes good sense to me in terms of the way that Mueller is going forward. And then there is this public relations piece, sometimes even denying the reality, if you will, the facts of what's going on the legal side of things. And that is plainly going to go forward.
Jim Santel, got to cut you short. Appreciate your time. Our fine guest, James Santel, come back. More Harley Fest Friday partying with the Devil's Advocates Real Resistance Radio.
Boy, this looks like very big stuff.
Five Nines, your local single-source IT solutions provider. Specializing in cloud technology, consulting, servers, networks, and hosting. We manage your IT so you can focus on running your business. Enjoy technology. Enjoy 59s.com.
Looking for a job worth talking about? Teaching is creative, collaborative, and intellectually challenging. See why teachers have better work stories at teachdfw.org and learn more about becoming a teacher. Brought to you by Teach and the Ad Council.
I'm jumping in with my clothes on.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb, but if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Learn more at ultimatepartyfoul.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
I'm Jesse Pica-Holz with Solidarity Realty. If you're looking for a home in Madison or Dane County, call me. I know Madison. I know homes. I'll protect your best interests. Call Solidarity Realty at 608-284-9311 or search solidarityrealty.com.
Well, back in my day, we didn't build walls, we tore them down. That's why I listen to Real Resistance Radio. What's a firewall?
I'm Andy Buck, field representative with Painters and Allied Trades of Wisconsin. It's an issue that brings constant challenges for building contractors. How to find qualified painters, glazers, and drywall finishers. IUPAT knows what you want. A professional job performed by skilled workers who care about safety, training, and finishing strong. Workers who are reliable and ready on demand. Let IUPAT provide the people power that you need. You'll feel confident the job is finished right. Connect at IUPATDC7.com and finish strong.
Excuse me, I know you have a 9 o'clock, so I'll keep this short. I'm the business suit in the back of your closet. You wore me nearly every day before your office went, quote, casual. I used to be the CEO of your closet. Now I'm just that one intern no one ever talks to. I always thought you'd circle back with me, get granular, keep me in the pipeline. But nada, nothing. Don't you remember the McKittrick presentation? You spilled coffee on me, and I still looked amazing during the breakout talkback Q&A. So, I think it's time for me to move on. I've got a great resume, and I absolutely crush it in interviews, okay? Let's make this a clean break. Shift the paradigm. The only thing I ask is that you think outside the box here and do this. Take me to Goodwill, where I can really make a difference.
Your donations to Goodwill create new jobs, training programs, and education assistance for people in your community. To find your nearest donation center, go to goodwill.org. Donate stuff. Create jobs. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
The Resistance is live 7 days a week here on Real Resistance Radio. Tune in Saturdays for Busted Pencils, fully leaded education talk with Dr. Tim Slecker, 11 a.m. to noon. Then it's the voice of the voiceless, champion of the working class. Earl Ingram's Saturday show is live from 12 to 3 p.m. From 3 to 4, it's State Rep Joe Costa Zamaripa hosting The Joe Costa Show, followed by The Dawn of the Resistance with Maggie Dawn, 4 to 6. Mandatory listening, always streaming at realresistanceradio.com.
For Real Resistance Radio, my name is Keith Gosted. Milwaukee City Attorney Grant Langley's response to Sterling Brown's civil lawsuit against the MPD for violating his civil rights has caused 12 members of the Common Council to issue a joint statement. The statement says that Langley's response does not reflect the policy position of the city. The city attorney's statement said that Brown was at least partially to blame for injuries and damages that occurred when the Bucks player was thrown to the ground and tased by Milwaukee police. Today, highs in the upper 70s, mostly sunny for Milwaukee. Madison should see a high of 81 with some clouds. Overnight lows around 70, chance of scattered thunderstorms across southeastern Wisconsin. Saturday, Milwaukee and Madison expect the same, scattered showers with a high of near 80. Sunday, more scattered showers with a high of 82. Overnight lows into next week, Monday, in the upper 60s. For Real Resistance Radio, my name is Keith Gosted.
Actually, it's pronounced Milwaukee, which is Algonquin for the good land.
Grass-fed, locally raised, 100% organic. Dom and Krutz are the Devil's Advocates.
Welcome back to the Devil's Advocates Radio Show. The happy hour continues. Thank you to our last fine guest, James Santel, former U.S. Attorney, and welcome to a brand new guest. He is Mike Pflughoeft. He is a media relations guy with the Harley-Davidson Motor Corporation. Of course, this weekend, the 115th anniversary, Brady Street rockin' wall-to-wall with the bikes. Mike, welcome to the Devil's Advocates Radio Show.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. You guys having fun down on Brady Street?
Oh, Mike, can you come down and ask him to turn it down a little bit? No, it's crazy. It's fantastic.
Yeah, the volume goes to 11 on Brady Street, and all of our parties this weekend.
Let me ask you, some exciting events going on in the city of Milwaukee. Harley-Davidson Beach Brawl. What's going on? You guys racing Harleys on the beach, Mike?
I can tell you, I was down there, believe it or not, at 4:30 this morning. We were doing media stuff starting at 5 a.m., and it is amazing what they've done in terms of transforming Bradford Beach into a vintage kind of historic beach racetrack. It's actually the first oval. We're working with a group of guys out of New Jersey called the Race of Gentlemen. And a couple of years ago at the Harley Museum, there was a display talking about their efforts to kind of bring back vintage beach racing. And so they've done beach racing in Daytona and on the Jersey Shore for a number of years. And we thought it would be super cool to bring them for the 115th, but do it with a little twist. So we have a quarter-mile oval track. And I can tell you it is amazing. The crowds for the practice today were gigantic. By the time I left, the stands were starting to fill up and the infield was filling up. And it is, you have to see it to believe it. It's quite interesting. And we are going to be racing. So they practice today. And then tomorrow they're actually going to be racing starting at 10 a.m. and going till dusk. So hopefully if the weather holds out, it's going to be a great day of racing. And that's a critical thing that we should talk about in terms of the 115th. This year, we're doing things a little bit differently than what we've done in the past. In the past, we've kind of centralized a lot of our activities on the Summerfest grounds, but we heard from our fans and our enthusiasts that they kind of felt like they might be missing some things, being kind of locked into one location. So this year we've really changed the focus and spread activities out all across the region and had a much more motoculture focus. So the racing is a huge component of that. The beach racing, we have hill climb tomorrow, which is also kind of a throwback to the early days of motoculture. That's taking place at Little Switzerland, where people are going to be running their bikes up the mountain, the hill, the ski hill, which I have not had a chance to be out there yet, but I'm going to try to get out there tomorrow. I would think that would make for some very interesting viewing. We have actually tonight at the Panther Arena, we have Flat Out Friday, which is indoor flat track racing. And if you haven't had a chance to experience that, and you guys are close enough that you'd probably get down there, you should go check that out. We put down, they actually spray Dr. Pepper syrup onto the concrete to allow for the bikes to have enough traction to go around in the oval track. And we have different classes that show up, including professional racers who zip around at unbelievable breakneck speeds, up to down to, I guess, amateurs who make for some very interesting races.
Mike, let me ask you, is it my understanding, talking about the Flat Out Friday event, do some of those motorcycles run with no brakes? Is it my understanding that they
correct? Absolutely. There are classes that I think for the most part they don't have brakes, and that's what makes it very interesting. A lot of them, some of the classes have absolutely no brakes whatsoever. So it's an amazing thing. We have worked with the folks who put on Flat Out Friday. The Mama Tried custom bike show on the Flat Out Friday group is promoted by a group of folks here who own Fuel Cafe, and they've done a remarkable job of kind of developing this event. We did one in February in the Bradley Center, actually, and it was almost sold out. 10,000 people, little kids up to hardcore bike enthusiasts. It's a great way to expose the sport of motorcycling to a wide variety of people, and that's really one of the objectives of our event, is to really give people an opportunity, whether you're a rider or whether you're never been on a motorcycle. There's stuff for you to do this weekend here in Milwaukee at the Harley 115th.
Folks, you are listening to the Devil's Advocates on Real Resistance Radio. Got a fine guest live via phone. He is Mike Pflughoeft. He is media relations with the Harley-Davidson Motor Corporation. They're celebrating 115th anniversary in Milwaukee and races all around the city. Tell me about the drag races, the run what you brung. Tell me about that race. Where is the drag race is going to be held, Mike?
That kind of rolls right off your tongue, doesn't it? Run what you brung. That's actually taking place tonight at Great Lakes Dragway. And that's an opportunity for literally anyone who has a motorcycle license and a a bike that they feel is drag worthy, to go out, and obviously they have to have the proper equipment as well from a safety perspective, but they can show up and drag their bike race it against other racers. And that's taking place tonight at Great Lakes Dragway. So if anybody's out in that neck of the woods, can my little buddy Dominic compete in the open class on his Vespa scooter? You don't have to answer that, sir. Let's put it this way: I wouldn't wager on him on the Vespa versus.
Hey, it's not just the ride; it's who's driving it, Mike.
Unless there's any birds scooters kind of hanging around here, I mean, he might have a chance against the birds, but against the Harley, I would highly doubt that he'd have much of a chance. Although I have to say, I was driving the other day, coming down to Vets Park. And a woman pulled up next to me on a Vespa, and she kind of eyed me up. And I was on my Harley. She kind of gave me a look like, "Let's go." And sure enough, I took off. And darned if she wasn't right behind me. She was tenacious on that Vespa. But you know what? We celebrate people who are on two wheels, and we want people to get out there and experience what life on two wheels is like. So if it's a Vespa for you, good for you.
Mike,
hopefully you'll be graduating to a Harley though pretty soon.
Mike Pflughoeft, Media Relations at Harley-Davidson. Mike, I'd be remiss if we didn't bring up and ask you, certainly in the political climate, of course, we are a news talk political radio station here, Mike. There's been some talk in the media, Donald Trump, the president, talking about perhaps, boycotting Harley for, trying to stay in business, I guess, and pass along, $2,000 cost from tariffs, all sorts of things like that, and some criticism of the governor. Mike, how do you, as a company, address and try to continue to do business in this, political climate that we live in?
Well, our goal is the same as the U.S. administration. We want a level playing field when it comes to trade, and we're working with government officials here in the United States as well as with governments around the world. I mean, as a global organization, we cross borders and work with, governments around the world to really find the best solution for our company and our brand. And that's really the most important thing for us, is to be able to take our brand of personal freedom and share that with people around the world. And, having a level playing field when it comes to trade, allows us to do that.
Well, we want everyone buying Harley bikes. Hey, Mike, if people want to get more information about all the events going on around this fair city and, of course, across the state, Harley-Davidson 115th, where can they go to find some details on the races and the shows and so on?
So probably the best way to do it, there's two things that I would suggest. One is obviously our website, hd.com/115. has all the information there. But we also have a really cool app. If you go to any of the app stores and you get the Harley-Davidson app, it's more than just the 115th. It's actually got features where riders it's got some navigation types of activities. It'll track your mileage. But it also has a significant component for the 115th, and it has all the schedules. You can actually pick the things that you want, and it'll remind you when they're coming up. So that's available in the app stores. It's the Harley-Davidson app, and you should be able to find it very easily.
Awesome. Mike Pflughoeft, Media Relations with Harley-Davidson. Thank you so much for taking time out of your extremely busy day. And if you get off of work, get down to Brady Street. We got some beer in the fridge for you, Mike. You're welcome to come party with us as well.
Thanks, guys. Hey, if you get a chance, get down to Vets Park tonight. There's a great concert tonight with Jackal, and then also at the Harley Museum, Rival Sons and the Record Company, Milwaukee. I think one Milwaukee member are playing there, and it's all free. So get down there tonight, guys.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Mike from Harley-Davidson. We are the Devil's Advocates on Real Resistance Radio, partying on Brady Street, bikes only. Well, you can walk down here, park the car, come down and hang out. Come by the studio, come and have a drink with us, the Devil's Advocates. Curdy's in Madison, but you can hang out with the rest of us.
Tom, where you got the Vespa scooter parked?
It's in the back, man. 844-967-2789. Last segment of the week. Give us a call if you got some grievances.
And when I see Scott Walker
with his little motorcycle and he puts his helmet on and he gets off and he makes his speech. But, he's always riding like, he gets off a bike like he's a big tough guy. Okay, or a little tough guy.
No, I'm going to stay for a while. How about that? Freedom.
Do you own a rental property, or would you like to partner with a rental investment team? Call the pros you can trust at CCL Management. Rental expertise second to none, a general contractor on staff to direct repairs and improvements, and real estate brokerage services tailored to the small investor. If you're ready to invest in rental property or just need professionals to manage your real estate portfolio, call us, CCL Management, at 608-833-0009 or visit us on the web at cclmanagement.com.
Hi, I'm Becky from Bounce Milwaukee, and I want to be the first to invite you to our newest attraction, axe throwing at Fling Milwaukee. Bring your friends, date, co-workers, or family to experience the rush of throwing axes at Milwaukee's first indoor throwing arena. Open 6 days a week for corporate team building, bachelor and bachelorette parties, date night, or just a fun night out. More information at flingmilwaukee.com or 414-312-4357.
Scott Walker thinks Wisconsin should once again hire him as governor.
You wouldn't hire me to be a neurosurgeon.
This is a person who has not worked in the private sector since 1993.
You wouldn't hire me to run condos. You wouldn't hire me to run HP.
And has made his political career.
You probably wouldn't hire me to run the United States Senate.
By using divisive tactics to the benefit of his corporate donors.
First step is we're going to deal with collective bargaining for all public employee unions. Right. Because you divide and conquer.
Now he supports the largest publicly funded government subsidy of a foreign corporation in American history.
They can go suck lemons.
And Scott Walker has yet to live up to his first campaign promise to create 250,000 jobs.
Is this a campaign promise, something you want to be held to?
Absolutely. Scott Walker, we the people are done sucking your lemons. This message was paid for by the People for People Corporation. Donate online at p4ppc.org, p4ppc.org. Brad Zog, owner of Zero Res Madison, resisting dirty carpets and harsh chemicals. Brad, why should people use Zero Res Madison?
Why wouldn't you clean your carpets like this? We're not using any soaps. We're not using any chemicals. We cost about the same as the other guys. You look at it and you go, where's the downside? You got a completely green clean. It's awesome. We guarantee it. There's no downside.
There's no downside. Use Zero Res. Call Zero Res today. 608-848-9000. Zero Res. Spell it forward or backward. It's the right way to clean.
Hi, Resistance Radio listeners. This is Kim Schrader, the president of the Milwaukee Teachers Education Association. We are the 4,600 educators who make Milwaukee's public education system possible. MTA members are the guardians of public education because every single day we are fighting to strengthen and protect public schools our students deserve. MTA educators are leading the fight in Milwaukee public schools for smaller class sizes, more recess, physical education, art, and music opportunities for every child in MPS. MTA educators are the champions for healthier school meals, positive discipline practices, equitable schools, and schools that partner with parents. MTA members are the guardians of public education, and we are proud to teach all children, regardless of their zip code. To learn more, follow us on Facebook at the Milwaukee Teachers Education Association.
Hey folks, sexy liberal Stephanie Miller here. Most new Wisconsin jobs are in Dane County, it's true. Some of my listeners are relocating to Madison. Many already commute there. When asked where to turn for a trusted real estate team that understands Madison, I say the same thing. Solidarity Realty. They help you through the process and protect your consumer rights. They live their values, building community, promoting sustainability and diversity. Find them today at solidarityrealty.com and tell them Stephanie Miller sent you.
Ass, grass, or cash, nobody rides for free. Dom and Crute are the devil's advocates.
Get your motor running. And we are back. Thank you for listening to the Devil's Advocates radio show, special 115th anniversary Harley-Davidson show on Brady Street. I didn't know it was going to be this big of a party, but it's one last segment. You can join us, air your grievances at 844-967-2789.
So, Dominic, any young ladies out there earning beads on the stoop?
No, some guys trying to give the beads away, but some dancing going on. So far, the only nipples I've seen today are my own and Fancy Brian's.
I did see that there were some burnouts going out there on Brady Street, and I don't mean our staff. I'm talking about the motorcycles where you land on the brakes and you turn on the gas and you just throttle it up and you lay some rubber on the street.
It's getting loud. It's getting stinky. It is going to be a blast all weekend long in Milwaukee. Folks, be careful. Watch out for the motorcycles. Yes, they're loud, but if you're not paying attention, you might hit one. Please, please, please be extra careful.
And let us thank our most recent guest, Mike Pflughoeft, with the Harley-Davidson Corporation. He does media relations, and apparently he likes to party like the rest of us do out on Brady Street. Now, Dom, let's not forget, we got a labor-centric party we're going to broadcast on Monday on Real Resistance Radio, 11 to 3 p.m. We're going to be out there at the Summerfest grounds. Perhaps we'll be partying around some of the burnout marks on the asphalt. But there will be some political speechifying, especially in the 1 o'clock hour on Monday. I understand the big event, the big broadcast brought to you by Real Resistance Radio. Dom Crudy and our man Earl Ingram Jr. will all be out there festin' with our fine brothers and sisters in labor. But Tammy Baldwin, Tony Evers, and other fine political luminaries tune in, especially in the 1 o'clock hour, if you want to hear the kickoff to the sprint to the midterm elections. It all starts on Tuesday. Well, Monday, more effectively.
It starts on Monday, a live broadcast 11 o'clock. And, of course, we've got to thank the sponsors who are helping us throw this party. The Teamsters Local 200. Of course, we had the Toms in yesterday, Melanzi and Bennett. Teamsters Local 344, the Milwaukee Building and Construction Trades Council, and the Milwaukee Labor Council. Thank you. So tune in. Come check it out. You can come down to the festival grounds. If you choose, come down. If you got something to say about labor, maybe we'll throw you on the air as well, because it is all about paying homage, giving honor to labor who helped make this country great.
And then Tuesday is all about putting the kids on the school bus and wishing them a happy school year. Now, I know my eldest son, Caden's heading into high school this year. He's feeling a little anxiety, Dom.
High school? You're kidding me.
No, Caden's going to high school this year. Karsten going into 7th grade. And Kelsey out working in the real world. Kind of tough out there, isn't it, Kelsey kid?
Right.
How about yours, Dom? Looking forward to the beginning of the school year. I think all parents celebrate back to school, do we not?
Yeah, the kids are 16 and 13, and they're out running around half the time anyway. So, yeah, it'd be nice to get back on a regular schedule. Adler's going to be a junior, if you can believe that. Izzy's going to be in 8th grade. And I'm still 29 years old. I don't know how this is even possible.
Now, what happens if Adler says, hey, Papa Nick, want to get me a Harley-Davidson Motor Corporation motorcycle? You going to teach him up on the Vespa scooter first? You're going to let him get a real bike?
He better get like a 4.0. He wants me to get him a bike. Hey, we got some callers. Let's get to it. 844-967-2789. It's our pal Will. Good, baby. What's up, man? Welcome. Happy Friday. Happy Labor Day weekend. What do you got for us?
Hey, Will.
Yeah, good, babies. I'm super buzzed already, so I lost what I had from the beginning. But I wanted to wish you all a happy weekend.
Thanks, man.
I know. It is horrible, dude. It's starting buzzing early. It's not a great thing, but I'm wishing all the best. I have nothing else to give you other than I hope that everybody is going to get their shit together better than me.
All right. Thank you for the call, Will. We always appreciate hearing from our audience, airing grievances, sending out some love. Will from Madison, thanks, man. 844-967-2789.
We got another caller waiting, Dom?
We do not, Crudy. The floor is yours, my friend.
All right, man. I got one issue I wanted to throw out there. Not a grievance so much as a celebration of the hard work of all the cannabis activists in the state of Wisconsin. Marijuana referendum questions go to voters in 16 Wisconsin counties in 2 cities. Now, some of the math I've seen, something like 2.5 million Wisconsinites, perhaps more, will have the right, at least in an advisory referendum sort of to do, to decide whether or not Wisconsin should legalize recreational or medical marijuana. Legalize it, tax it, regulate it, and get some of that black market money for the state of Wisconsin, right?
And we can start calling the Scott holes potholes, because we'll have maybe $200 million a year to, go towards roads, education, and of course, helping perhaps people get off of opioids, because I don't see Governor Walker doing a whole lot in that regard.
Dominic, when voters in 16 Wisconsin counties and 2 cities go to the poll November 6th, they will join a nationwide debate by marking their ballots for or against legalizing marijuana, either for medical reasons or personal recreation. I prefer the latter. The advisory referendum questions are scattered on local ballots throughout the state, from Milwaukee and Dane to La Crosse and Langlade counties, and the cities of Waukesha and Racine. Getting loud there on the street, Tom. All were approved by county boards or city councils. Supportive officials and marijuana legalization activists say the referendums will provide a measure of public opinion that can be shared with the state legislature and possibly spur new laws relaxing or eliminating current prohibitions on pot. Now, our buddy State Rep David Bowen said voter approval of the November legalization questions, at a minimum, should persuade legislators to approve a statewide advisory referendum on marijuana legalization. We know that's the position Tony Evers recently advocated for on our big show. Here's what Bowen said: there would be no denying the results of a statewide referendum. But Rep. Melissa Sargent, also our pal, the first one to ever correctly answer the question, do you support legalization? She said yes. He said, hallelujah. But State Rep. Melissa Sargent from Madison said there would be no need to wait for a statewide vote after the November referendum, since she, too, expects approval of various questions. Those results will come on top of opinion polls that already show the majority of Wisconsinites support marijuana legalization among state voters, Sargent said. Folks, we are the Devil's Advocates. Always love partying with you, especially on a Friday afternoon, especially when it's the 115th anniversary of Harley-Davidson, and they're throwing a party on our street, Brady Street. Want to thank our fine guests today. They included former U.S. Attorney James Santel and media relations at Harley-Davidson, Mike Pflughoeft. Hopefully he comes down and joins you for a cold one, my friend.
Yes.
I'll be having my cold ones, perhaps not in the broadcast bunker, but somewhere here in Greater Dane County, hoping for dry weather this weekend. Hopefully you will tune us in Monday from Labor Fest. The event starts at 11 o'clock, and we'll broadcast till 3. All the big speeches. All you need to do is turn into Real Resistance Radio. Have a great weekend. Don't forget Earl, Joe Costa, Dawn of the Resistance, Jeff Santos Show, Meet the Press, and Stu Man PM. All the big shows all weekend long, doing live radio around here 7 days a week. Not quite 24/7. Have a great weekend.
The problem will be taken care of.
I don't like Canada. It's freezing cold.
You are going to ignore this particular problem until it swims up and bites you on the ass.
I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're going to hear about it.
We want to find the collusion.
And your problem is you.
Businesses today thrive and survive with technology. At 5 Nines, we provide businesses with the IT tools they need to stay relevant. We offer enterprise-level solutions at competitive